Awesome. So I guess we covered everyone. So thanks everyone for explaining on what you expect from the workshop and all. I will say what we are actually going to learn. Okay. Yes. What everyone said is going to cumulatively summarize what is out from the syllabus, to be honest. But we are going to see on an outline because I don't want to read the syllabus again. It's like a manual job. We are into automation, so technically I should not do a manual thing. So I just will go and overview how your next 4 weeks is going to be, including this, how we are going to learn it in a step-by-step process, and what you will be able to do at the end of 4 weeks. The reason why I usually do at the first day of my workshop is maybe let's say if people is joining in the workshop, they will think, okay, once I finish this 4 weeks workshop by, I guess it's ending on June mid, I'll be an AI expert. I can go and say to my manager, now give me any AI task I can do. No, that's not the case. To be honest, that's not, because I'm doing this AI for more than three more than years or plus now. Still every day I'm learning. I'm not kidding. Still every day I'm learning new things. Like every day I thought, okay, this is the tool I got mastered or something. Now tomorrow some new tool is coming. I was okay, come on, I have to practice. So the problem with AI, or I see it as a good thing, which is that AI is keep on evolving on every day. So this workshop will enable you compared to others in the forefront where you know what you can use AI with in your daily works. For example, writing test cases, whatever things which we are going to mention in the the syllabus, we are going to see how we can leverage the AI to do it instead of the works which you do manually. So that's the simple one-liner of how the 4 weeks workshop is going to be. But if you see it as a overall for 4 weeks, so the first day, today we will be, it's all theoretical. I'm sorry for that. Usually the first day will always be theoretical. Starting from tomorrow, it will be hands-on. But theoretical is important. I also don't personally like to hear theoretical or preach theoretical, but the slides which we do is pretty important to understand some basic jargons or basic differences with the words which we use. Because many people understands AI in a different way. Like in my mouth, when I say AI, or another words of AI will be in a different meaning, or let's say Sukanya is saying AI will be of different meaning. So yeah, Sukanya, I have a question.
Yeah. So everyone talked about automation here, but I'm not currently doing any automation. So my expectation here would be you can also give some inputs related to what we can do with manual testing as well. So mostly they are just looking
There,
for
there is. There
frameworks.
is. In the syllabus itself, the first week we cover with manual, then we move into automation.
Okay.
So it's in the
Yeah.
step-by-step process. So no worries.
Perfect.
Yeah. So first, today we'll be starting theoretical. Slowly we'll understand what is AI, what are the different AIs, all the things. We'll see one by one, and we'll set up our environment in such a fashion how we are going to use. For instance, we will be using ChatGPT. How we will use ChatGPT for the entire workshop to ask any questions and get the answer. So this is with the first day. Starting tomorrow, we are going to understand the basic concepts of something called prompt engineering. What is prompt engineering? How to do prompt engineering? These things will be unraveled tomorrow. And the second week, we will be understanding the second week's first day, which is day 3. We will be understanding on manual testing. As what Suganya asked, even though we all are being expected to do automation, yes, we do, but our core skills, which is called the testing, it's always needs to be there with us. But how can we use the AI to leverage that instead of me picking my brain and thinking how can I write test cases or something like that? I would be giving the task to AI on how to do that efficiently. When I say efficiently, if me or Suganya can write a test case, yeah, we can do it. But when I take the leverage of AI, AI will do it in just a second. But how efficiently can I make it to do it? That's what we will learn it over there. And fourth day, we will be jumping into the web automation for using Playwright. But the any topic which I teach you is not very specific on tool per se. That's the interesting thing with this workshop. I teach you a skill how to use the AI for it. But let's say if you ask me a question, Vignesh, you are teaching Playwright. Can I not apply this for Selenium? No, that's not the question. The point is I'm taking Playwright as a tool, as a guinea pig for me to demonstrate the items which we learn from the AI. But the same knowledge you can go and apply on Selenium too. The only difference is the commands when you put it Slightly it will vary based on the keywords you put, but the same knowledge will be applied for Selenium also. But we are using Playwright, as Playwright is the talk of the town at the moment. So we are using Playwright to learn it along with the AI on day 4. With day 5, we will be understanding on API automation. So first we are going up with manual, then web automation, then we are going with the API automation, how to do the API automation by using the Gen AI. And we will be covering up with the how to do a code review. For instance, let's say I'll take Shashwat as an example. Let's say Shashwat is writing a code and he's asking me, Vignesh, can you review it? Yeah, obviously I can review that. But again, it's a manual task. Why I have to take that burden of reviewing? I will be asking ChatGPT to help me review Shashwat's code, but without losing the quality or something. How we will be able to review the code, how we will be able to understand some documents given by someone. So all these things will be covered in day 5. In day 6, we will be understanding on file generations. For example, if I wanted to create some files, I have to create some PDF, some text documents. For instance, if let's say someone is asking me, for example, in my day-to-day life, I'll give an example. If someone is asking me a question, Vignesh, can you explain this how this works? For example, if someone asks me, Vignesh, what is Playwright? For instance, I can keep on speak about Playwright for 2 hours, but I wanted a crisp answer in a text format. Do you think I will sit and write those in the current setup? No, I will be asking ChatGPT with that, with the right prompt, it will give me the file. So how to generate files like this is what we will be learning in our day 6. And with the last week, which is the day 4, which is the most crucial week, where the first day we will be understanding on resume building. Now, most of us, even though we say that I need, to be honest, to be fair and transparent, even though many people claim that Vignesh, I want to use this in my office, I want to try AI with many things. But in real time, everyone, when we switch companies, that's what we motive us, including me. But now, finding a job and writing a resume suitable for the job is the most hardest part in current scenario. How to use AI even in this? How to help ask AI to help me in writing a resume? How to ask AI to help me in applying for the job, making my resume suitable for the job. For instance, a simple example is if the job is expecting more of API automation, medium of web automation, imagine in that fashion. My resume will have both the automations, but how can I tweak the wording saying that I did more on the API automation so that my resume will get selected for the interview? These kinds of things we all do at the current date, but manually it will take 30 minutes, 40 minutes to edit and all those things. How we can use the AI to do that in literally a second. Those things we will be seeing in the 7th day. And the last day, we will be seeing the advanced, like this not advanced, like a tip of iceberg advanced topic related to AI, which is called we'll create our own models. We will be using our own custom GPT models to do the same repeating again and again. Like to give you an idea, what we are learning for the first 7 days is how we are automating or how we are using the Gen AI to automate our daily job. What we will do in the 8th day is automating the automation, which means instead of me even saying to AI every time, I will even automate that. So the moment I go over there, AI will understand, oh, okay, Vignesh is asking me something related to resume, or Shashwat is asking me something related to code review. So it will understand me because I would have created a model in such a fashion. So we are automating the automation, something like that. And for the last topic in the last day 8 is on how we can literally write the code by just giving the prompt. When I say that, there is a tool called Cursor AI. I'm not sure how many of you has heard of this name or something. It is an IDE tool, which means it's an IDE like IntelliJ VS Code or something, where by reading your project, it automatically creates the code for you. Literally, it automatically creates the code for you. You don't have to do anything. So we will be seeing on those topics too. Any questions, folks? Any questions with the setup, how we are going to learn for the next 4 weeks? It can sound overwhelming, I know, but any question? Yeah, Abhijit, go on, please.
Vignesh, do we need ChatGPT paid subscription for this?
I'm getting covered it in the next slide or today's slide where I'll explain in detail, but answer is no.
Okay.
Cool. So any other questions before I share the screen and we are getting it started? And by the way, not a rule, but just a request from my side. My past attendees would know the drill. if you have any question, Swati, just a second, I'll just finish this. If you have any question in any of the topic I explained, for example, how the entire workshop laddering will go is the topic which you learn now will be the input of the next topic. That's how the learning laddering will go. But in any topic which I teach you now, for example, I show a slide or I write a prompt, if you can't understand the topic for a time, raise your hand and then we can pause the discussion and we can go with the question which you have and then we can proceed forward. But let's say you have a question, but not exactly related to what I'm saying, but something else. In that moment, don't raise the hand because you are interrupting the flow or something. Wait for each topic to get done. Then you can ask the questions and we can move on. So that's the usual drill, which will save us time to cover all the topics and also to go into the Q&A. Yeah, Swati, go on.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask that you said no code reviews and all that we can do and
Mm-hmm.
we can,
Mm-hmm.
leverage it.
Mm-hmm.
What if we don't have access to the code? And are there any ways to, still assess the code or the application, especially mobile apps, without having access to code, something like that?
If
Or
I
it,
understand your question currently, you're testing something, but that code is not with you. How can I get a review for that? Is that my
no,
understanding right?
no, no, not the review. Are there any other ways of, getting closer and knowing that code is working as expected? So basically testing it, but not having the code with
When
us.
I say code review, maybe there is a misunderstanding. When I say code review, for example, let's say we are writing a playwright automation, Swati. Okay,
Okay,
it's
okay,
let's say you writing it and I'm being your lead. You are
huh,
submitting it to me for a PR. How can
okay.
I review it? Kind of like that.
Acha.
Not about the
Oh,
tool which we use created by the developer or something like that. No,
oh,
not
okay.
that.
Got it, got it, got it. Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. No worries. Cool. So given said that it's all good, let me share the screen and we can get started. Let me know if my screen is visible. Can someone confirm me? Is it visible?
Yes,
Yes.
it is.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you. So, as the title given here says, AI-driven automation, a game changer for QA course. Just a tip. Do you think I created this image or I copied it from, let's say, Google Images or something? Anyone? I guess.
Created with AI.
Exactly. I created it with AI.
Okay.
I didn't do it. I just gave the prompts and I said what I wanted or how am I looking for the image should be. And this image created it. I wanted to show it upfront, even though I'm not an artistic person, I don't know art or anything, but I know how to guide the AI and to get my work done. That's exactly what we are going to learn for the entire next week, which means you don't have to be knowledgeable in the questions which you ask. You don't have to be well versed in the things which you are asking for with the AI, but asking it in the right way will give you tremendous results. That's the trick for the entire AI automation. Now, everyone give an introduction about themselves. For me, I'm Vignesh, originally from Chennai, India, but currently being in Berlin, Germany for more than close to 3 years now. I'm part of the Berlin Test Drive chapter lead here, leading for the QA community in Berlin. So having close to 10 plus years of experience and mainly throughout my career, I got opportunities or I've been lucky to be honest in working in various automations such as web automations, API, mobile automations, performance testing and all. And currently I'm working as the lead estate here in a bank and based out of Berlin. And for instance, these are some of the tools and projects which I worked on and I give training to. For example, I don't know who mentioned this, Abhijit or Atit. They are from a past playwright workshop. So I'm conducting even a next playwright workshop. The difference what we learn from the playwright over here versus in a dedicated playwright workshop is here we will be touching the basics of it or maybe in a mid-level advance. But if you wanted to learn an entire playwright thing, you wanted to be a pro in the playwright one, I request you to join for the playwright workshop which starts from next week. So ping me if in case you have any questions on the syllabus or something, but that's a second workshop which I do. But these are the different tools which I'm well versed in, and I'm taking trainings both in online, offline, personal trainings, one-to-one, everything. Now, the very first question which I thought someone will ask or someone should have asked before purchasing this workshop is why we need to learn the AI. That's the question. Many people gave an answer related to this, but I 100% believe that before clicking on buy button in this workshop, you would have asked your question, why should I need to learn AI? I didn't learn until now. I'm still being secured in my job. Why I need to learn AI? Did anyone ask question like that? Or maybe I'll put it reverse. Doesn't anyone has ever not asked this question to themselves? Anyone? Which means everyone at some point in your life would have asked this question, why I need to learn AI. Similarly, second most important question, which is a sub question from the previous one, is what it actually benefits me. That's what anyone will try to see. If I'm investing some time, if I'm investing, like for in this instance, the workshop takes somewhere between 25 to 26 hours. So if I'm deciding to dedicate 26 hours of my life in something, what is the benefit I'm going to get out of it? That's obviously a question which anyone will get when we learn something. Now, before understanding that, before understanding to the answer for that, first we'll understand what are all the current challenges are there for QA. When I say that being in a bad team, having a bad manager, having a bad project doesn't come into the picture, because that will be there throughout your life. So that we cannot do anything, not by any AI. But apart from that, what do you guys think before I show this slide? What do you guys think? Maybe each I'll take 3, 4 answers or something. What do you guys think are the current challenges for QA? Anyone? We can go in order. No orders. Anyone can answer it.
Okay, so Ashwin here. So couple of things. First, question of the relevance of QA is being questioned. Couple of places I've seen is, see now with all the GPT and all these things come up, people are questioning. Okay, to see for example, Cursor AI has a very good ability to write unit tests, which I've seen in my organization. We're able to write about 70 to 80% of the unit tests for backend and the frontend.
Correct.
So, what is the relevance of QA? Okay, see, that is one challenge which AI brings up. With advance of AI, people are thinking, okay, so for example, there are prompts which will generate you test cases using the test design techniques itself. So so that is a challenge for QA, and how we provide value. And where, see, we had a value chain with automation. Yes, we were there for a value chain. Now I feel with AI, it's going to push us down the value chain. So that's something which is a challenge for QA.
Okay. Thanks, Ashwin. Guys, I don't know. There is some Zoom issue today. Automatically, my hands are raising, so ignore that for some reason. Yeah, go on.
I think it's also the expectation is the outside world is running with AI. So I think we need to catch up on that front. And in case we catch up, I think I foresee a case where if we are not able to deliver the right productivity, there might be a case where we might need to basically test the AI as well, right? So there might be a case where we might need to understand the AI and leverage it according to our needs. So also like say selecting the right AI for our use case. Say maybe like say we being electronics are different branch engineers, we become like say prompt engineers.
Right, right.
So that is also another thing that I'm observing.
Awesome.
That's also
Awesome.
a challenge for people to be like say on toes to learn new things.
Awesome. Before Manas answers, I just want to tweak a question a bit. Ignore AI for a second. From your brain, just ignore AI for a second. Excluding AI, what are all the challenges we face on a real time, on a day-to-day basis? Like, yes, whatever the point Ashwin and Kishan told is absolutely correct, but the actual answer which I'm looking for is excluding the AI. With that, what are all the challenges we have in a day-to-day time? Like, for example, writing something, doing something, like these kinds of things. I guess Sukanya next. Yeah, Sukanya. Manas
Yeah.
also, if I'm not wrong, but after you. Yeah, go on.
The problem here is when we interact with the developers, when we find some issue. So sometimes if we want any in-depth detail about the what they have fixed, actually what they have implemented, sometimes they will say it is not your job to do it, you just test it. So that is the major problem. It is not new, but it is from the beginning, for a long time.
Okay.
So
Okay, fair enough.
we need to convince them, and yeah, it is not about everyone, but some developers are like that.
Always.
So,
No, it is always. Always. Yeah. A good
Yes.
QA is I always believe a good QA should be a good person in communication. Like if someone is very good in communication, even though they are okay in testing, they will be still considered as a very good QA because you're convincing people, you're making people to understand. So yeah, so true. I guess Komal, you're next.
Hey, hi. So I think for as far as QA is concerned, there's always a time constraint that QA people are facing,
Right.
and there's always like test coverage. Like there's not like enough testing, right? We always have that challenge. So testing is never enough. It can go on and on.
Right.
I think these two challenges majorly that we every QA faces,
Mhm.
and also in terms of like collaboration, right? So nowadays it's all about agile DevOps culture, wherein there's a continuous quality culture. Um, we need to build, right? So uh, in process of that we need to do a lot of collaboration and communication across different cross culture teams, like DevOps teams, developers, product owners. We need to interact and get that quality culture going. So I think that is also one of the challenge QA faces. um, I mean, there's a lot of accountability, responsibility on a QA when it
Mhm.
comes to quality gates. Yeah, I
Okay.
think these are few challenges.
Awesome, Komal. Thank you. We'll stop the questions with Shashwat, Kishan, and Manas because there are more points to discuss. So we'll discuss them. Yeah, I guess Shashwat is next. Yeah, Shashwat.
Yeah, like 2 points came to my mind as of now. One
Mhm.
is the maintenance part. Like once the framework is there and to maintain it, like you have to redo the things if there are multiple changes or if there's an issue or something. So that
Mhm.
is one thing. And second is like creation of test cases. Like you cannot directly automate it, right? Like so you
Good.
have to first go through creation of test cases. So it's time consuming. So like,
Mhm.
yeah, these two things like I think
Awesome.
challenges for me. Yeah.
Awesome, Shashwat. Thank you. Your next question.
Thank you. I believe shifting left is one part that I think not all organizations do have an option to shift left, but I've seen this is a challenge that the QA actually faces. Because at the end of the day, if there's something broken in production, it's always the QA which is first pointed.
Mhm.
Although like there's that what do you say? The mindset is not yet shifted left for everyone in
Right.
the organization. Maybe. So I think
Right.
that's a major blocker. And as I mentioned, like say, since we are the gatekeepers, I think we are uh, we are given a big buffet where we have to learn everything and anything,
So
right?
true.
At the
So
end
true.
of this,
Yeah.
so we
Yeah.
need to manage that. So I think that is another thing people have to understand and also like say raise the market standards in terms of uh, uh, giving QA the due credit.
So true. So true. Yeah. So just to add to one point before I'm giving it to Manas, it's so true. Actually, for instance, as I mentioned earlier, I'll take one real-time example itself, to be honest. My wife is not originally a software QA, she's a hardware QA. So she one day asked me very randomly, Vignesh, you are training so many people, why can't you train me becoming a software QA? I said, okay, challenge accepted, I'll do you. So this is before my baby born. Then it's been 3 years, yeah, close to 3 years, she's been not working. So again, she started with the verge of working in software and all those things. Before 3 years, when we had this discussion 3, 4 years back, when I was saying, I said, these are the things which you need to learn. You already know quality and other things, but you need to work it along with the software things. But recently, maybe 6 months back or 7 months back, when I had the same discussion with her, the entire expectation which I had in terms of QA got shifted. For example, 3, 4 years back when I was speaking, I was told that you need to know how to write test cases, you need to know how to write an automation or something like that. But now, if you want to call yourself that, okay, I'm a good QA, I can be onboarded to any project and I can be a value resource. You will not just enough if you know just test case writing and automation. You need to know the core QA skills. You need to know automation. When I say automation, many automations, like not just web or mobile, you need to know web, mobile, API, performance. You need to know on basics. As Kishan told, now we are in the verge or in the world of shift left testing. So you need to know unit testing, integration testing. You need to know how to do a basic DevOps thing. So it's very hard. So now I said this, my wife already is so angry because 3 years back you told something different. Now you're saying, and plus AI, including AI, I told now you should know how to do work with AI too. She literally got angry. Vignesh, you're cheating. Why you didn't say this 3 years back? I could have done something else. I told in 3, 4 years, everything changed. What I can do. 2 more years, if you ask me, I would be teaching something else. So that's how the current market is. If whatever the topic I teach, maybe to be very transparent, 7 months later or maybe a year later, maybe this can be irrelevant. Tomorrow, let's say someone like knowledgeable like Kishan can launch a tool. This one tool will automate everything for a QA. It can automate web automation, mobile automation. If some tool comes up to the world like that, we need to learn it immediately and start working with it. That's how we are in the shape as being a QA. Yeah, man, go on. We'll end with you.
Yeah, so for me, the main challenge is like the designing, maintaining, and the scaling of the automation test case for different platforms. It's time consuming and also you need to be technically sound. So you cannot just start
Yes, sir.
automating and without proper design pattern. And usually it happen like you take some time to automate, but you'll take double time to maintain that. The test case fail,
Internet,
it
yeah.
will be it's an iterative activity. And when you're working on agile, you need to test faster to give you the faster feedback and to having the proper test coverage without compromising on the quality. So that is
Okay.
also one of the challenges we face, I think, in the current. Yeah.
Awesome, Anas. Thank you. Now, everyone pretty much already covered what is there in the slide, but there are a couple of other points, so we will touch base on them. So there are actually more than this what I'm going to show in the slide, but I handpicked some of the most crucial 8 top challenges which we face on a day-to-day time. The first most important challenge, I was very surprised why no one told it, or maybe someone told and I missed. Time intensive manual testing. Even though we are in the world of automation, even though we say we have multiple automations and something, I believe many people, many companies in the current time still do manual testing for any reason. It could be, let's say, they didn't have the automation done, or let's say the automation is very poor, it's not covering what they did for. So many companies still do a time intensive manual testing. So what basically it is, as the name implies, it's a manual testing, especially let's say for some complex application which can have some highly repetitive tasks which will involve many set of QAs needs to do the same thing again and again, let's say for a regression. So these kinds of things, what this will have an impact. So in real time, this will impact the considerable amount a QA is spending on a weekly basis, or let's say you are in a bi-weekly agile team. So every 2 weeks once you have to go through this process, 1 day or 2 day of regression where you test manually again and again the same things which you tested last week. So what is the AI solution for that? With AI, we can able to derive and understand what are all the repetitive tasks which we do, and we can make the AI to do the repetitive tasks. In terms of writing automations, we will be using AI to write the automation for them, and we will be pushing them as a regression cases. So from next week, you don't need to do those cases manually. And second is high cost of traditional automation, which means now first point is in terms of manual, but let's say we moved everything to automation. Do you think it will solve the issue? Not really. For example, let's say, I guess Manas told that point, if I'm not wrong, or someone before that. Even if you write the automation, maintaining them is a even more difficult job in case if you don't write a good automation. If you wrote a proper framework and if you wrote a proper automation cases, unless there is a change in your UI flow or there is a change in your, let's say, locators or something like that, we should not maintain it. That's the whole idea behind an automation. You once you write it and keep it, unless there is a change, there should be no changes in your code. But that's not the real time case. Maybe there can be a change in the flow, there can be change in the UI structure, there can be change in the locators. Many changes will come without we expect for. So the traditional test automation frameworks will require substantial setups, maintenance, and everything. And again, what is the impact this for the QA? The QA team will struggle to keep up the automation up to date. When I say that, for example, in this sprint, we are creating some new features. For this, I need to automate it. For example, let's say, I'll take Kishan as an example. Let's say I'm giving Kishan that, let's say 4 features. Kishan needs to automate it. But before he jumps to the automation of this, there are some backlogs from his previous sprint where something is failing or something. Priority will go to that. Now, let's say it took a time 3 days, 4 days to fix that. So he already has a piled up work of the current automation. Next week, let's say Kishan is on holiday, he is not able to do, and he's coming back after 2 weeks. There will be tons of things for him to do in terms of maintenance and all. So, what is the AI solution? We will be creating a framework, like when I'm teaching you on how to do this with Playwright or whatever. We will be understanding from the scratch when we do something how to create it better, how to make it less maintainable, and if we are having any task in future, how we can use the AI to take the job for us, even though when we are not there. And the next one is keeping up with rapid release cycles. Now, I guess most of you, 99% are still working with Agile. Is there anyone who is still working on waterfall? Anyone? If so, I would be very astonished to see in 2025 someone is doing waterfall, but anyone in this group is doing a waterfall model setup? Okay, no. So given that everyone is working with Agile, we all know how it is important for us to run behind the release cycles, how to cope up with the work which we promise to deliver. So as an Agile and this for faster releases, QA teams are so much pressured to test and release something. How much ever we fight with the project managers or engineering managers, always QAs will get the time at the end of the sprint to test something. They will take 12 days to develop, but they will give only 1 day or the last day to ask us now test everything. That's how usually the works will be. And what is the impact which we are having? We have to be running fast. We have to test faster. When we test faster, there are many chances for the potential bugs to get releases to the production. And again, we will get blamed. We will say why you didn't test also. So always this is like a looping which will happen every release to base. Now, what AI can help you? AI can help you to accelerate the test process by automatically creation of the test cases. Now, as I was saying with an example of Suganya, if I take the help from the AI, does it mean me as a less QA? Not really. I also can write the same test cases what AI can do. The comparison is on time. If I take 30 minutes or 35 minutes to write those cases, AI will do less than a minute. So time matters here. So how we can leverage the AI to write the cases, how to do that, that's all we are going to see as part of the AI. And next one is complexity of test data management. I don't know if really someone does a testing with multiple test data. If not, you should do. For example, can someone say, or in a real-time example, how they do a test data management here? Just wanted to know. Anyone? Anyone? You can say how you are for the automation or manual things. How do you do a test data management currently?
In Excel, Vignesh, Excel and XMLs.
That's okay. Not asking about the source, how you write the test data, like how combinations you write, how different combinations you write, I'm asking. I believe currently everyone does it manually. Okay, I'll give an example. Let's say if I'm giving you a login screen, okay, and if I'm asking, like we have 25, 26 people in the call, if I'm asking you to write different test data combination for this to test with, we all will write 100% the four state cases, valid username, invalid username, valid password, those four combinations we will write. But do you think that's the only thing which we needed for a test data? Obviously not. We have to try with different set of test data. Now, when we are being initial QA, when we are having time for all this, when we get some breathing time, you can think of multiple test data. What are the different combinations of test data I can think of to test this? But as with the previous points I told you, when you need to keep up with the current speed of agile movement and all, you will not be getting time to write this test data. Now, what is the problem again will happen? Let's say one of the combinations in your test data will work and the other will not work and it will fail and go to production. Now, how to stop it? Again, we'll be using the AI to create us a dynamically, contextually accurate test data. When I say that, if I'm saying AI to create that, hey, this is my login page, can you help me creating a set of test data? AI will literally think 10 or 15 more test data combinations which we cannot think, and we will be able to use them. So that's another way how we can use the AI for handling the test data management. Now, next is limited scalability. What it means by limited scalability, which means the traditional testing methods, it will struggle to scale effectively for instance of a large application. Let's say we are taking a very big application with the current testing methodology, we will be struggling to scale it effectively. For example, let's say I'll give a simple example. I'll take an example of automation only. when you start an automation for the project, maybe the project was in the size of just 2 pages or 3 pages application. So you would have written the automation framework in such a fashion. But let's say your product got hit and you are adding so many features, many pages are coming, so much complex scenarios are coming. It will be hard for you to scalable that automation if you wrote it in a very basic format. Again, you have to either rewrite the entire framework or you have to discard it and write a new one. But whereas if you take the AI's help at the very starting itself, when the solutions it offers or the way it asks you to derive something, all will be in the mode of the scalable. So when it creates something, it will say that, hey, if you do this, future, you can add these things. So we will be using the AI for scalability too. And next most important point, according to me, is high potential of human error. This is too much possible in real time, which is we all are humans. We are tend to make mistakes. For instance, let's say when I'm in a good mood or in a better health condition, I will be testing something very vigorously. I can able to find the bugs, something like that. But imagine if I'm not well, if I'm not able to focus on the testing part of that day. Maybe I can test 1 or 2 cases and I will leave, okay, rest will work and I'll go home. But maybe that's the day, bad day for me, and the bugs will go to the production. So we are tend to make mistakes as being a human. That's where the AI will help us to automate them. For example, with all the points which we spoke, test data creation, test case creations, all those things, AI will help us because AI is a mission. AI will never get tired. With the right prompts, with the right question, always AI will give you the right answer. If someone always who comes to me and say, Vignesh, I'm not getting the same result which you get. We both are in chat GPT, we both are doing the same thing. If I'm getting a result correctly and you don't get the result correctly, problem is with us, not with the AI. So you have to ask the question right. That's how you have to master it. And last 7 pointers, difficulty in predicting the issues early. Super important skill for a QA, which is you have to predict this. If you do this part in 1 week or 2 weeks, we will end up having an issue like this. Can we predict it? It comes up with experience, to be honest. If let's say if someone is having an experience like 2 years or 3 years, they will not would have seen much more production issues or something. So they cannot predict that if we take this path, we will have an issue like this. But given that we are getting a help from the AI knows all the issues happening around the world. Trillions of people are speaking with AI, so AI will learn all those things. So when we ask the question saying that AI, we are gonna do the implementation this way, do you see any future predicting issues can come up? AI will literally search the current issues will can happen around the scenario which you're doing for. Now, again, the question is, can I not think it? You can think it, but in case if you don't have experience or you didn't have I'll take an example of you've been always a web QA engineer. Now we are being deployed to a mobile QA. The way we test web will be different with the way we test in the mobile cases. So what all the issues can come with this application, you might not know. So for these kinds of things, we can take the help of the AI to understand and predict the issues which is going to come up. And the last most important point is resource constraints in testing team. I don't know how many of you are facing this currently, but many companies, including mine, will give one QA for 3 teams. For example, let's say each team has 2 developers or 3 developers. Combining all of them, there will be only one QA. That's all. They will say, Vignesh, you're there. No, you can take care of the testing. Yeah, I can take care of, but I will be overloaded. So the problem is when you go and ask management that I need a new backend engineer or I need a new front end engineer, they will be happy to pay them. But no one knows the value of QA. They will say, why you need one more QA? Can't you manage the same team? So resource constraint is always a bigger task or a bigger problem in the current market. So if you don't know how to use the AI on a daily basis, when it's the entire notion of this workshop is not to just say good things about the AI or say this is how we will work or something. It's to implement it on a daily basis. Any task you do, your brain should think in a fashion, okay, Vignesh told there is a way for automating it. I will do that. It might take 10 minutes or 15 minutes to do your job once. Once you did that, every time you don't need to do your job, it will be automatically done for you. So why we need to have that? Because imagine I am a shared resource across 3 teams. I cannot do the same thing again and again. So we have to be mindful of our time. We have to use the leverage to the extent possible to save our time and to focus on the needed things. Vignesh, only these are the challenges we have. As I told you, there are many more challenges. I can write another 20 more also, but I handpicked the most important 8 scenarios which we will face in real time and how we can use the AI to fix them. Any question, folks? Any question with any of the points before we move forward? Okay. Now, once we understood the challenges which we have with the current setup, we will understand the real need of AI in our QA path. Now, the first point is efficiency and speed. For example, let's say if I'm taking the same example of test case creation, if okay, I'll take a different example. If I take Kishan one more time as an example, he'll kill me. So let's say I'm taking Komal. Let's say me and Komal are sitting together and we both are being given by our managers that can you write test cases for the login. Let's say I'm writing it manually. It takes 30 minutes, 40 minutes to think of all those scenarios. Komal is smart. Komal is using the Gen AI to write it. She will be going to the manager and saying done in 2 minutes, in less than 2 minutes, maybe 1 minute for creation of the cases, 1 minute for Komal to review them. That's all. That's the time it takes to efficiently write a set of cases. I'm taking test case creation as an example, but the same notion can be applied for all the manual things which we do, which means we are leveraging the AI in a real-time world and we are still not losing the efficiency. And the second most important topic is enhanced accuracy. Super, super important topic, which is AI minimizes the human error which we do. For example, let's say I'm writing, I'll give one more simple example. If someone is asking me, Vignesh, you told 27 students are there in the call today. Do you know all the people name? Let's say I'm writing all them manually. Before I submit it, I will just ask the QA, I will ask the AI to format it. When I ask the AI to format, it will not just format, it will also find the duplicate for me. For example, let's say if I'm writing Shashwat name 2 times, let's say I'm writing it on third line and I'm also writing it on the fifth line without knowing it, I cannot be able to notice it. But AI will notice it for me and can able to accurately give the answer which I'm asking for. So accuracy with AI is 100% if you can able to ask the question in such a fashion. Handling complexity. AI can handle complex test environments, real world simulation test scenarios, detect patterns. For example, let's say you are getting a bug continuously, but you can't able to understand why this bug is happening in terms of a pattern is there or not. AI will help you to understand patterns like that. For example, in real time, AI is being used a lot in terms of the share market, all those data analytics things, because this was being done by humans until now, but now the AI can able to analyze the data set like in seconds and then able to say, okay, let's say the price of gold is like this today, tomorrow it can increase like this, or in 1 week it can decrease like this because of analyzing the past data. These things was done by humans now, but all of them is handed over to AI because of the accuracy and the way it handles the complexity. And all these things which we do is basically for the productivity boost. I don't know who told that was the very good point during the introduction. The main reason for us to learn the AI is because turning ourselves into a super QA, yes, but to have a productivity boost. If someone is asking me, Vignesh, how much time will it take to automate it? If I'm not knowing AI, maybe I'll say 3 days or 2 days. But when I'm knowing the AI, let's say I'm saying 1 hour. In 1 hour, I can automate and give. People will be thinking, wow, you can automate in 1 hour. I'll say, yeah, because I know how to increase my productivity because of using the AI. And the next one most important point, I guess Kishan told it, if I'm not wrong, competitive edge, which means knowing AI will outstand you from a participant who doesn't know the AI. For instance, tomorrow, two people are submitting applications to me. If one of the application says he does everything manually, writing the automation cases, blah, 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 where the other profile says they are using AI for that, how they leverage the AI in their scope and how it impacted their team and everything, I will be choosing the second person. The reason is not because he is a better QA, but he knows how to use a tool to efficiently work on a real day basis. So it will really give you a competitive edge compared to a person who doesn't know the AI. And adding to that point, it is a good for your career growth in real time. In my personal experiences too, I can able to achieve much more greater steps in the career because of knowing AI, because it helped me in doing things faster, which helped me to prove as a good QA, which helped me to learn things on a daily basis. Every day I'm not kidding. Literally every day, even if I'm speaking with my wife or not, every day I'm speaking with AI for everything. Whatever I have a question, whatever I have doubts, whatever I want to get clarified, everything I'm not searching Google, I'm not searching Stack Overflow, everything I'm asking the Chat GPT or any tool which I'm using, and I'm getting the results for. So technically, it will be a good buddy for you, good helping hand, good mentor for you if you're using it in a right way. Any question, folks? Any question? Okay. I'm getting to start worried because for each slide there is not even one question, plus the video is turned off. So I'm literally worried. I know the first day of every time when I do AI workshop is a worried thing for me because it's not a hands-on. So I worry whether people turned off the camera and went away or they are sleeping. So any question?
No.
Just
Yeah.
a question.
Awesome.
Vignesh, just a question.
Yeah,
So
Sadish,
if
go
I get
on.
you correct, yeah, you are saying about the positive side of the AI. So what is the harmful effects which AI can
It
does?
comes in the next slide. It comes in the next presentation. There is one. I won't say harmful. I won't be bad to that. I will say what AI doesn't do well. I'll put in that way,
Okay.
which we are covering in next presentation.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Does anyone raise the hand apart from Satish? No, right? Okay. Now, continuation to the previous point, first we understand previously that the real need for AI in the QA, and here it's the same thing what I just explained orally. So I'll quickly run through this, which is, does AI actually increase your QA productivity? For example, topics like this: automatic test case generation, dynamic test data generation, predictive maintenance for your tests, faster bug detections. These are some of the points which in real time the AI can able to give you a leverage. For example, I'll take, let's say, the test case generation or maintenance. So when I'm creating a framework or I'm writing the test cases, I'll give a very simple example, one which happened even yesterday to one of my teammates. When my teammate was writing a test for API automation, I was reviewing it. By the way, I don't do manual review, I do AI for the review. So when I was reading to the code, when I was skimming through the code, I didn't notice a couple of things which she wrote was a mistake, which is hard coding the data in the request and things. And she's hard coding that same way for multiple tests too. I was in urge of something, I wanted to finish and do some other task, so I forget to notice it. But AI was precisely saying that, hey, she's using this word, let's say English or some other word. She's using multiple times in the test and which can impact in the later run. Ask her to put it in the const or save it in a framework constant, something like that. If I was in a calm mindset, I could have found it. But I took the help of the AI to set up something for me, thinking of longer term. Because the test case is correct. If I execute the test case, it is working fine. So no harm in that. But things like this will help me to make the test more maintainable, more easy for anyone to change something. So these kinds of things, AI will be helpful in day-to-day time. Now, we spoke so much things about AI and all those things. One thing which we wanted to clearly understand is how this workshop will help you. We already joined this workshop, but as I told you, what you can expect from this workshop on a high level and how this will help you in your day-to-day QA flows. For example, 100% I believe that with past records and all those things which I get message from my students, it reduces your manual effort. Whatever the things which you did until now, until today as a manual thing, after the workshop is done after 4 weeks, all those manual things will be reduced. Question is how much you are using the AI, that much the manual effort will be reduced. If you are using 10% of AI in your day basis, 10% of the work will get reduced. If you're using 100%, 100% will get reduced. So how much ever you're using the AI things which I taught you, you're using in your real time, that much amount of manual things will be reduced. Second most important point is we will be working in an increased speed, but without compromising the quality. The most misconception which anyone has is whatever the things comes out from the AI is not correct. Not really true. Also, vice versa, whatever comes out from the AI is correct. Both is actually wrong. Not everything comes out from the AI is 100% correct. Similarly, not everything comes out from the AI is not 100% correct. So we have to be writing prompts in such a fashion to get always the good 100% result. So we are increasing our speed without compromising the quality. And next is how we can expand our automation skills. For example, someone in the group could be better QA automation maybe than me. But how we will be progressing with our workshop is we'll be using the AI. Let's say I already know how to write a playwright test. If you ask me, I can literally write all the combinations of playwright test, but I'm not going to write it manually. I'm going to guide the AI and I'm going to get the code from it. What is the only capability I need to know? I just need to review the code for like 30 seconds and I just need to copy and paste it. That's all. So we are leveraging the AI in every task and we are expanding our automation skills too. Now, the primary goal of this workshop, when I said this workshop a year back, the primary goal is everyone knows the word AI. Everyone has heard of AI. Everyone would have tried the Chat GPT or Gemini, anything, any AI comes, everyone would have done it. But are we using it efficiently? That's the biggest question which I had myself before I started with this syllabus creation, where I kept the workshop in a basis of purely beginner friendly. When I say that, I'll take example of, let's say, Suganya. Suganya told she doesn't have experience in automation. So similarly, someone would have not experience in manual. Maybe they do only automation. So all the topics which we speak will be completely beginner friendly, which means we'll touch everything from scratch and we'll be going forward. Maybe some topics you would have already known. Some topics would be already familiar to some of the people, but still I purposefully kept it beginner friendly to touch all the basics, then proceed to the advanced topics. And here, as I mentioned, we are learning for the generative AI. What is AI, Gen AI? We'll be seeing in a minute. So we'll be learning all the basics starting from the Gen AI, and we'll be helping the day-to-day test automation purpose. And in this case, we are using ChatGPT for us to help with this all this work. Once we are done with this, I can assure you that you can be in the beginner level or average level in terms of this. But at the end of this fourth week, you will be in the expert level, at least mid expert level on your day-to-day work. And the most important request from my side is some topics can be very interesting for you, or some topics will be okayish for you. But do not skip any topics in case if you're some family issues, you couldn't able to join, you're sick, which is completely fine for the call. All the entire discussions are being recorded and TestDrive will share the recording to you. In case if you didn't join for the previous session, please try to view the recording and come. Why, Vignesh? If I come without viewing, can I not understand? Obviously, you can understand that day's session, but the topics which we speak, as I told, the entire workshop structure is cascading. The previous day learning will be the input for the next day's one. So it will be better if you know every topic which you are going in the order. So try to not to skip and try to practice all the things which I'm requesting you to do. Any question, folks? Any question?
No.
Sorry, Adit, you said something I didn't understand.
I said no.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Now, we learned about what does the course will do and all those things. Now we will start understanding on this word called Gen AI. Because until now, I purposefully made the previous slide to use the only word called AI, but now I'm showing a new word called here Gen AI. Before I explain what is this, can someone say in a word what a Gen AI is? I don't want the book definition. I just want to know a real time what a Gen AI is. Anyone? Even if, guys, by the way, this space is completely safe. The space is for you to say wrong answers and learn from it. I don't expect when someone speaks, they should say the right answer. No. If someone says right answer, I'll be worried. Oh, okay, I cannot say this one. Please, even if it's wrong answer, please have the courage to say it. So that's how we learn. So what is Gen AI? Anyone?
Someone that can reply like human.
Sorry, say again. I didn't understand.
Someone with whom you can talk like human and get a response from a machine
Okay.
to get
Okay.
ideas, to explore things.
Okay, that's what you mean by Gen AI. Okay. Swati?
Yeah, even on a similar line with him, like you
Similar
feel
line with
it
them? Okay.
as a
Okay.
mentor or whom you can discuss your
Okay.
problem and you reach
Got
somewhere.
it.
Whether that
Got it.
solution is is okay or not okay, but still you reach somewhere.
Got it. Got it. Okay. It's like a human partner, virtual human partner kind of thing you're
Kind
saying.
of a cool. Yeah, why not? Yes.
Got it. Okay. Kishan?
Yep. So as the name says, it's like a generative artificial intelligence. So
Okay.
every time we ask, it's kind of you can look at it like a skill-based virtual companion, where every
Okay.
time you ask the same question, it is creative in terms of getting you a different, maybe say, dynamics into how it's defining things. Like say, if I ask what is this particular item, it might define it in one way. The next time I ask the same thing, it might define it in another way. So it's basically generating uh, a there's nothing called precise. It's basically generating all the time for a question that we've asked. So it's kind of you can look at it in terms of like say artificially creative companion.
Okay, fairly right. Just one small correction to what you told. If I understand that last discussion correctly, you're saying if I ask the same question again and again, you're saying every time it will be creative in giving the answer, is what you're saying. Is that right?
Creative, maybe, as I said, creative, it might not go to the extent of maybe giving a even more wonderful or say less wonderful. It's again, it's up to our perspective of what we
Right.
expect
Okay.
it to give. But then it would define it in the same way, like say active, passive voice, you can say in terms of English.
Understood.
When you're
Understood.
talking, like maybe,
Makes
yeah, you get answers
No,
in that
no.
way.
The only worrying, no, what you said is right. The only worrying part is maybe people can misunderstand it in such a fashion. For example, let's say if I'm asking an artifactual thing. For example, if I
Yeah.
ask the how did Corona came in 2020, right? Okay, it came in 2020. Always it should say that Corona came in 2020. Even if you ask it million times, it should not say Vignesh it came in 1900s. No, that's not the right answer. So factual data should be always corrective, but the creative ones can change it. When I say that, for example, if I'm posting a photo of mine and if I'm asking how will it look in a different hairstyle, maybe it will look show me in a hairstyle and say Vignesh you will look like this. I will say no, I'm looking good, but can you show me something different? So that's where the generative comes in picture and shows creative. But in terms of factual things, in terms of this, that will be always pretty standard. That should not change. So just a correction over there.
Yep.
Yeah, Shashwat, go on.
Yeah, like it's like giving answers as per the data which it has or the past data which it has,
Perfect.
on top of like what all models they have in place to
Okay.
to create that answer for us.
Got it. Got it. Perfect. Thanks, Shashwat. Kapil.
Yeah, so actually, I was looking for the difference between LLM and generative AI. So, what I understood is generative AI can handle texts, images, and
No
videos,
book
maybe.
definition. No book definition. That's it.
I was
Now
just
only I understand why suddenly I see many hands popped up because these people went back the screen in Chrome and asking for Gen AI and asked. No.
no, no, no. You should believe me. It
Okay. Go
is
on.
last week's
Okay. Then go on,
Google.
please.
I did not do it now,
Okay. Perfect.
but
Then go.
yeah.
Awesome. Cool.
So,
Yeah,
but in
correct.
LLM, I think,
Mhm.
but I think in LLM we can it can handle only text, but you know it better.
Right. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
fine. Thanks, Kapil. Followed by, we'll end with Abhijit. So Sukanya, Manas, and Abhijit. Yeah, Sukanya.
Yeah, as far as I know, it is a type of Gen AI, but in recent LinkedIn posts, I came to know that there are different models in machine learning, that around 8 models. So then I went dive deep into it, that learn Gen AI. We have different versions also for Gen
Correct.
AI, like ChatGPT, to
Correct.
create multiple ideas or image creation and other things. But what I felt was this Gen AI is like it is not AI, or and also I have a doubt that is it a type of large language model, or is it using any other
Okay.
models to
Okay.
get into it?
We'll
Yeah.
get that covered in the slide. Yeah. But yeah, perfect. I guess Manas next, followed by Abhijit. Yeah, Manas. Manas, in case you're speaking on mute.
Yeah, sorry, I was speaking in me. So for me, what I understand in a layman term, so GenAI, you can generate the things like you can give PDF, you can give one book to the GenAI to learn, and you can ask question on top of that. So like you
Okay.
can give the PDF or you can give the resume and tell me what is the years of experience the person has, what technology that person knows, and it will give you the reply. So you no need to train them. So it is already trained, and based on how it is implemented in the backend, it will give you the response that ML cannot do. So that is what I understood.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Perfect. Yeah, Abhijit, go on.
Yeah, it is artificial intelligence with which human being can interact and get some output in text or other formats. And like it is a kind of interaction. You are giving some instruction or input and you get output in particular format, either text or some other format.
Understood. Understood. Awesome. Cool. Thanks, Abhijit. What everyone told pretty much covered what we are gonna see in the slide, but with perfect nuances, perfect terminologies, we'll speak with that. So, what is Gen AI? As everyone exactly mentioned, the book terminology or terminology which we need to understand is Gen AI, or the full form of that is generative AI, which is generative artificial intelligence. So instead of that, we shorten it to Gen AI. It refers to a type of artificial intelligence. So it is a type of AI. So it is a subclass of an AI. The most important difference between an AI and Gen AI, there are many differences which we will see in the next slide, but the most simple difference between an AI and Gen AI is generative. It will generate the content for you. Now, the question is what type of content? It can be a text, it can be an image. There is music generations also. For example, I met one of my a person in Berlin. He is a music composer. He's lately started using AI. I don't know. He told an AI name. I can't recall of that. He is using AI to generate music. Like he will give the basic rhythms and all those things, and different versions of music are being generated by AI. It was very shocking for me because I never been exploring on those sites, and he showed me some musics and things which he completely wrote from the AI model. So it can create you text, images, musics, PDF, Excel, anything you ask for, coding, whatever you ask for, it will generate and give you. So that's a simple definition. Layman definition is generative AI, which can generate the content for you. What content? Whatever the content you ask it to generate for. I don't know if anyone seen the recent post from LinkedIn and all those things. There is a one very good movie, 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes movie. If possible, after the call in the WhatsApp group, I'll try to share the link of that. Completely generated by AI. Not even single frame has been designed by anything by the human. Completely it was generated by the AI. So that movie will be like how big fish will destroy a ship, something like that. So it's similar to like Godzilla, how this destroys the ship, right? There was a video generated completely by the AI with the prompts they given and all those things. And the video, if you look into in 4K, you will not believe that it's an AI generated. It will look like a that Spielberg's movie kind of an AI level. So that's how the AI is advanced. So it can generate and give the content according to that. Now, the most important difference between an AI and Gen AI is, unless like the traditional AI, the main important things with the Gen AI is it clarifies, like for the instance, for the traditional AI, which primarily classifies the data, makes predictions. For example, I'll give one small real-time example where it is called as AI and where it is called as Gen AI. For example, let's say I'm running a company, and in my company, I wanted to know how my future stock prices will be going on based on the trend and all those things. Gen AI will not do that. This will be done by the AI. Why? Because I don't know if you guys heard this word called AI ML, machine learning, all those things, which basically will have an AI ML engineer. They will create AI models and all those things suit specifically for my company to understand the patterns, to analyze the patterns and give that. That's not a Gen AI. Why? Because Gen AI will generate a thing for me, where there it is just analyzing and doing an AI stuff. So there is a difference, if you can understand. If I'm asking it something and it getting generated an output from it, that's a Gen AI. When it does the native AI works, whatever you're asking for, analyzing the data, predictions, for instance, forecasting. Nowadays, forecasting was being done by humans years ago, but now all the forecastings across the world is being done by the AI. So these kinds of things are done by AI, not by the Gen AI. Now, the simple another difference between AI and Gen AI is the AI will produce you only the original contents based on the pattern we have asked it to train for. But the Gen AI will create anything based out of the questions which you're asking for. For instance, if I'm asking it to create an image, it will create an image. If I'm asking the same content should be in the PDF, it will create in PDF. So whatever the content you ask for, you will be the person who is asking, and Gen AI will give the output for you. For instance, like models like GPT, we all say chat GPT, right? We all think that's a company and something like that. No, chat is like basically you're chatting with the system. GPT means generative pre-trained transformer, which means that data, whatever you see, it's all pre-trained, which means whatever the questions you ask for, it will be the system already knows the questions, it is already trained on, and that's where it is fetching the answers and giving you. For example, let's say in real time, every day on a daily basis, whenever I write any email, I don't send it immediately. I get it cross verified from the AI to make sure that I don't have any spelling mistakes, I don't have any punctuation mistakes, and it should sound like a human, it should sound with a professional English. All these things I'm doing on a daily basis. How do I do? I wrote the crux of what is the email I want to send, or I already have an email drafted. I will give it to the AI. AI will format it in a fashion how I ask for. Similarly, let's say I'm writing a documentation for my framework, which I'm just creating, and I want the manual QAs to understand. So whatever the technical points I put, I will give to the AI saying that, hey, there is a team of 3 manual QAs with me, convert this document into a manual QA friendly version. So whatever the answers I'm explaining, for example, let's say I'm writing a command, npm run test. If an automation QA reads it, he or she will easily understand it's a command to run a Node.js based test application. But if a manual QA sees it, he will get giddy. What is Vignesh have written? So I will be converting the document into a QA friendly one. So all these kinds of things I can use the Gen AI to do. Now, how does the generative AI work? Now, we are not going to go deep inside in terms of LLMs, in terms of neural networks. Those things we are not going to do in, because it's a bit advanced topics, which I personally feel doesn't need anyone to, at least in the basic level, to know. For example, simple understanding is everyone has mobile with us us. Do we know how, if I'm calling, let's say I'm calling Kapil, I'm dialing Kapil's number and I'm giving a call. On the other end, Kapil will take the phone and receive the call and answer. Do I need to know how the connection is happening from my phone to nearby antenna, from nearby antenna to Kapil's networks? Like, I don't need to know that crux. If I call, Kapil will answer. If he's busy, he'll not attend. So we are using the mobile, but we are not understanding the entire system architecture behind it. The same logic with GenAI. I will be giving the basics of how the Gen AI works, but you don't need to go in deep level, as this is a beginner friendly or the basic friendly workshop. But if you're interested, there are advanced workshops which we do where we are dealing in-depth advanced topics on AI. But for now, we'll stick with the basics. The first important thing is data training. Every model which comes, for example, it is like releasing new iPhone every year. Every year, new models will be released, which means the model will be based on the previous year's data set. For example, let's say there is a AI model which was there in 2020 and there is one model in 2021. If you go and ask the question about COVID in 2019's model, it will not be able to answer correctly. Why? Because it was not trained or created based on top of the 2020's data. But whereas if you go on a 2021 model, ChatGPT 3, 3.0, whatever the model is, that will have the data trained on the 2020's occurrences. So based on a year also, the model version differs and everything. But there is a way to tackle it, which we will learn in real time. But what basically I'm here to say is the Gen AI models, every models are trained on massive data. When I say data, it's not like one word or two word data, it's millions and millions and trillions of data it will get trained on with terms of text, languages, models. For example, let's say you're putting an image and you're asking who is this guy. If the trained data doesn't have that person's image being already trained or something, the model will not be able to understand. So it is all based on the data model it is getting trained on. That is how the Gen AI works. So basically, uh, I'm asking Gen AI question. Gen AI, that model will already have that data trained on, and it is giving me the answer from the data which it's having. That's how, in a simple, Gen AI works. And second point is neural networks. What it means by neural networks is one of the common structure in the Gen AI. The models, especially the deep learning models, LLMs, whatever the words which everyone told, basically uses the complex layers. When I say if I'm asking the Gen AI to say, can you give me test cases of login page? This every word will be splitted into tokens and it will be combined sequentially by the Gen AI to understand, okay, Vignesh is asking like this. So these kinds of things are called as neural networks. It's much more deeper, but on a high level, these are called as neural networks, which will help the LLM models to interpret the data to understand what Vignesh is asking and make a decision on it and give the response as per that. Any question, folks, with this? Any question? Yeah, Suganya, go on.
So is Gen AI and GPT are different?
GPT is Gen AI. Gen AI is the, how to put that? Gen AI is the one type of AI. GPT, as I told, ChatGPT or whatever the things are the Gen AI tools which adopts the mode of or the structure of the Gen AI to implement it. Does
Okay.
that Suganya?
So is it like we are using Gen AI to create tools? So that is GPT, you mean?
No. So we are using okay, on our side, we are using the Gen AI to create contents. That is clear. That's called Gen AI. GPT, as if I go back with the example which I told you, it's called generative pre-trained transformer. So basically here you see the word generative. So that GPT, it's a pre-trained model, which means that model is basically in nature is a Gen AI model, which is already trained on trillions and millions of data, as I just told you. And when you use the word chat, which means chat GPT. So you are speaking to the GPT model via a chat.
Okay.
Clear? Okay.
Still, I don't understand exactly,
Okay.
but yeah, I
Okay.
can.
But when we work with ChatGPT, I'll explain from that forefront. It will be much easier for me to show you rather than orally explaining it. So I'll show there over there, Sukanya. In case if you still didn't understand after that, let me know. Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, Shashwat, go on.
Yeah, so this data training, like as we know, it happens like every year or 6 months, like as per the new update.
Correct. Yeah, depends.
So like we have this search option there, right, in ChatGPT for to get the latest whatever is
That's
there.
the part I told I'll show in hands-on, but as you're asking, I'll explain. So let's say you're asking for a question and you want the updated answer. When I say updated answer, for example, let's say I'm asking a question to ChatGPT. For example, in Playwright, I'm using this method, but it's not working. Can you check it for me? Now, if you don't enable the search, what Gen AI will do? Gen AI's nature itself is to go and check its database to understand previously with the data set it got trained on, is there any issues related to this, any answer for this? So that's how it will get the answer and it will feed you. But let's say there is a recent change in the method which you're using. Playwright has released a new version which is having this issue. How you can find that? So you should enable the search where you are saying the chat GPT that get your data set plus also hit the playwright's official documentation, get the data from that, compare it and give me the workable current solution. Does that make sense, Shashwat?
So that model works on both the latest one as
Yeah.
well
The
as
recent ones works both. Yeah, that's what I've been hands-on, which we will do in another half an hour, where you will clearly understand when to enable search, when not. All these things we will show it. But for now, what the question you asked is correct.
got it. Thanks. Yeah.
Give me a second. Now, why Gen AI matters for QA. For example, now when you join this program and all, maybe we all would have not have a clear understanding that Gen AI means AI or AI is Gen AI. We would have had that confusion, but now we understand on a high level what is AI and what is Gen AI. Now the question comes is why, Vignesh, you are teaching Gen AI and not AI? Obviously that question will pop up, right? Why you are not teaching us AI? Why are you teaching us Gen AI? Now the question is on a real time, how much everyone works in an AI company. For example, let's say if I'm working with ChatGPT, my work is to test the ChatGPT. My work is to test an AI. But how many of you are doing AI testing? There is a difference between AI testing versus testing AI. Both are different. When I say AI testing, I'm using my testing using the AI versus I'm testing the AI is exactly the different thing. Many people will do the testing in AI. No, they will not do any testing on ChatGPT or something like that. That's very, very less population. But on a major population, what we need on a daily basis, we need a tool which helps us to create cases. We need tool which will help us to create the code, create the bug requirement document, everything, whatever. I will be needing something created out of the system. Now, I'll ask the question, whenever I want something created out of the system, should I go with AI or Gen AI?
Jenny.
Gen AI.
Clear? That's the reason why Gen AI matters for a QA. But tomorrow, let's say I'm taking a workshop for someone who is working with the AI itself, how to test the AI. That's an entire different workshop. Whatever the topics I teach here will not have any relevance to what I'm going to teach for the next 4 weeks. So we purposefully picked up Gen AI because we already are QAs. We are already working in our current systems. How am I going to use the Gen AI to ease my job and to make myself as a better QA? So the first important answer is increasing the speed, because we already saw, I'm not going to explain it one more time. We already saw how Gen AI helps us in writing the test cases, analyzing requirements, blah, blah, blah. All these things can be done only by the Gen AI, not by the AI. So it will help us to increase the speed and work in a better position. Second is enhanced accuracy. Third is reducing the manual effort. Fourth, sorry, I missed one more point. For example, the impact which we give. For example, by achieving a better speed, better accuracy, and reducing the manual effort, Gen AI is actually transforming me from a normal QA to a super QA. That's the reason we are learning Gen AI and why it matters for a QA, not with the real-time AI. Now, for example, let's say I'll take a simple example how it will be helpful with real time. For example, in terms of text generation. For example, as being a QA, let's say I'll give a very, very real time example which I do on a daily basis. How many of you guys do a bug bash session? Like with release by release or every monthly once? Does anyone do a bug bashing session here? Yes, no, a testing session, something like that? Not even one. Okay, you should do,
We
man.
try we try the ad hoc test where like we are doing some kind of monkey
Whatever.
test. Yeah.
Monkey testing, whatever, the names can be different. The point which I'm trying to do is it's not Kishan or it's not Vignesh who does the testing. Someone else from the team will do the testing to see if the system works for you. So I guess some of them would have done at least in your career. We do it every week, or at least before every big release. I'll ask pull people, I'll voluntarily push people, I'll make them buy lunch and something, and I'll ask them to test for me. Now, the major problem is once they finish testing, do you think they will report it or write the reports in such a fashion how Vignesh does it? For example, if I'm writing a report to my manager versus for discussion, let's say I'm take Kishan as a front-end engineer. Kishan is helping me to test it and Kishan found some bugs. He will be writing just notes or just hyphens, highlights that he tested this is a bug, it is happening, something like that. If I just copy the Kishan's message and if I put it to my manager will kill me. It will not be very detailed report or something. Now, imagine someone who does it on a weekly basis or a bi-weekly basis like me. Do you think every time the report I'm getting from different people, will I do collate it manually? Do you think I will format it manually? No. The entire thing I'll push to the Gen AI. I will say this is the crux or this is the outline what people tested. This is the issue Kishan found. This is the issue Suganya found. Structure it, and I already trained my model to report in a fashion how Vignesh likes. Vignesh has a certain formatting, right? I already trained the system to give me in that format. For example, these kinds of things you can use the text generation. Code generation as the self-explanatory. I don't want to write the code. I will just explain what am I trying to automate, and automatically I will get the code from the Gen AI. Test data generation. If I want to try with different set of test data, if someone is asking me, Vignesh, this is the UA we are going to test. Can you give me some test data? I will give the test data combinations which we are going to test in less than a second, and I will give to the manual QAs and they will test it for me. So these kinds of, I just picked the most important three, but there are many more real-time examples which we will see along in our workshop. Now, the next one is why we need to learn the generative AI now. First point is, if not now, then when? That's the actual answer. But why we need it at the current moment is because AI is the most booming one currently. Anything which you do, you will hear that always in LinkedIn and other thing. AI is so booming. The first important reason is to future proof your skills, which means, as I told you, in couple of years, at least in my vision, that's how I see it. If someone is applying for jobs or something, I don't know, maybe people have experience more than a decade or someone can vouch for this. Before and all, if you have an ISTQB certified, even though you're being a bad QA, even though you're not a skillful QA, just by looking that badge in your resume will get selected. Okay, trust me, we'll interview them. We'll think, okay, did this guy, how did he pass in the exam? Did have a bit or something like that? How he does, because he doesn't even know the basics. But having that mark will help you to crack the interview, right? Similarly, in future, at least how I anticipate is, in couple of more years, if you say you have AI experience versus you say you don't have any AI experience, that will be a very different ball game. So it is for future proofing your skills and your career. Second most important is higher efficiency. We have to do the work which we do in an efficient manner. Third is for the career growth. So for all these points, that's the reason we are learning the Gen AI now. Any question, folks? Any question? Okay. So usually we'll always have a break between the sessions, and usually it will be 5 minutes or 10 minutes, something like that. And I give that decision always to the team, because every time I will not decide it, I'll ask the team to decide. So how much time you want the break to be? 5 minutes or 10 minutes? Not more than 10 minutes for sure. It's either 5 or 10 is the answer. 5 or 10. How much time you want the break for?
I'm okay with 5.
10
5,
minutes.
okay. 5? Okay, very
10.
good. So, sorry, someone is saying something?
10
No,
minutes.
I'm okay with
10
5.
minutes.
Okay,
Okay.
so now the majority is 10. Okay, so then we'll go with 10 minutes. In my clock, it's 9:18. We'll be back exactly at 9:28. Okay, bye. Folks, I'm back. We have 1 more minute, so please be back exactly at 1 minute. And also let me know once you guys are back in the chat or something, so I know most of them are already in.
Ignesh, before everybody comes, may I ask you a general question?
Yeah, please go on.
As I understand, you are in Berlin and I'm in Frankfurt. How in in Germany this AI is used? Don't people have concern about GDPR and I-
Yeah. It is evolving, to be honest. Couple of years back versus now, it is evolving. Many people, company are using it, but the only concern is they are wishing to set up the server on their local and have an instance of that. What I mean by that, for example, let's say I'm, especially in my case, I'm working for a bank and I always worked for a bank. So, for example, especially with banking data, it's always secure. Even Germany says it's as per GDPR content or not, still it's a banking related thing. So we cannot give our data for the ChatGPT. If I take ChatGPT as an example, we cannot give our data for ChatGPT for training it. Correct? So
Mm,
even though we buy licensing, still we have to spin up an instance of the server of our own ChatGPT. So make sure that these data are not given to the original ChatGPT server. So it's a bit complex. I'll try to put it as simple as possible, which means I'm getting up the ChatGPT model, I'm spinning up my own server, and I'm using that models in my server. So the questions I asked is within my server only. This data, whatever the questions I asked, the code I push, the backend data I give, whatever that will not be reaching to the ChatGPT server. So ChatGPT cannot get trained by my data. So if we can able
okay.
to set it up, then it's fine. But let's say we don't. For example, let's say your company is giving you just money to buy a license for couple, And by any chance, if you're giving your data, your backend data, your actual backend code, your front end code, your business logics to that, that's against the GDPR. So when you're working with Gen AI, but we'll cover that on, I thought to cover that on with examples, but in a nutshell, when you are giving it any data which doesn't involve your business information, doesn't involve your actual backend code, nothing, then it's fine. But the moment you're putting it, it needs to be in the private instance, not with the public instance.
So private instance is possible. I mean, having in the local server.
Yeah, it is possible.
And
But
So
don't
then
ask
you
me
need,
how do we do that. DevOps does it. I don't do.
yeah, that's okay. I won't ask that.
No,
But
no,
there is
people
a
ask me in
possibility.
previous sessions, they asked me, Vignesh, can you show that? I said, come on, I don't know. I'm not that skillful.
Okay, thanks a lot.
No worries, man.
And
Cool.
like,
Sorry, someone saying something?
yeah, sorry. Like, yeah, you can go ahead. Yeah.
No, go on, Shishman. Go on.
No, like, yeah, out of the topic only, like, also, are you also using this new that NCP playwright which introduced, like, I
Yeah,
have started to use it. And it's
yeah.
like, is it helping or like, is it hallucinating? And like,
It kind of does, but to be honest, so now on a real-time basis, I'm not working on Playwright. I'm working. I'm setting up frameworks for other things. But when I gave it a try, sometimes it works perfectly fine. Sometimes it doesn't. So I was speaking with Dennis 2 weeks back. Dennis is the creator of the MCP from Playwright. I was speaking with her. I was also sharing that same concern myself, Dennis and Florin. We all were speaking in a call. It is still not mature, to be honest. It's good start, but it's still not in a good mature shape. Maybe she vouched that it will be good in 6 months back down the line or something, but at the moment it's not that great. It's good, not
yeah,
great.
yeah, okay.
Nice. Cool. So now we are gonna understand. We already understand on a high level what is AI versus Gen AI, but we are gonna understand bit deeper, not very deep, but bit deeper in understanding the differences between AI and Gen AI. What is AI? So I will run through fast on the bookish explanations, and I'll give more examples on real time. So what is AI? AI means artificial intelligence. It's a field of computer science which enables the computer itself to perform the task which will usually require a human intelligence. That's what AI means. For examples, what AIs are good at. AIs are good at analyzing the data, making the predictions, following some preset rules. So the one word which you need to always understand is AI works on a preset rule, which means you give it a data, you ask it to analyze, it will do only the analyzing. It will not do anything apart from that. For example, you are giving a data, you're asking the AI to make predictions, it will only make the predictions. It will not do anything apart from that. So it follows a preset rule. Whatever the rule you set, it will follow further. One simple example in a real time, in every day-to-day basis, what we do AI for. For example, spam detection in emails. All the emails which every company does, all the paid ones which they have now have AI enabled, which means any spam related email comes automatically, it will get spammed and it will not be shown to the employees. Do you think this was being doing by someone sitting manually behind the screen and doing it? No. AI is reading the emails, AI is reading the subjects, AI is understanding the sender email address. Everything is done by that and it automatically classifies. For example, on a prediction basis, I'll give a very real-time example on Amazon. Amazon has an awesome AI trained model in terms of this, where they can able to predict which items will sold more in upcoming sale, which one we should increase the price, which one we should decrease the price, where this item is being sold the most. So all this entire terms of predictions with the past data, AI can able to analyze it. Second is, for example, a rule-based system. Let's say I'm having a kiosk machine in my hotel. I don't want the user to keep on clicking multiple steps. Rather, I would have it automated where if the user says, let's say, fried rice. For the fried rice, this is the competition which we give. If you select it, this is the it's a Coke or water we give. That entire self-checkout kiosk can be easily automated or set up by an AI because it follows a preset rule. So this is a simple, there are many examples, but these are some of the examples. What is a AI? Now we understood what is AI. Now we in previous slide itself we understand what is a Gen AI. Gen AI is a subset of AI, focuses on creating new content. The most important difference is AI will not create a new content for you. Rather, Gen AI will always create a new content for you. What that content? It can be text, images, music, coding, document, whatever you ask for, it will create and give the data for you. The interesting thing in Gen AI is it will not just analyze it unless like AI. AI will just analyze the data and will do the work based on the preset rules you have given. Gen AI also analyzes the data plus it generates the new content for you. So it's a mixture of AI. That's the word. That's the reason it has the word AI in it. Gen AI, generative AI. It generates the content. Also does the content what a regular AI will do. Now, some of the examples, the same thing what we have seen earlier. For example, writing human-like responses. Let's say if I wanted to write an email, I want to write a document, whatever I do, I can use, let's say, ChatGPT. If I wanted to do an image generation, the first PPT where I showed you an image, right? That entire image has been created by ChatGPT. I didn't do anything. I was using ChatGPT only for that, where I was asking that I'm going to host a workshop. These are the workshop topics I'm going to speak on a high level. I want a logo for that. That exact logo was being created by ChatGPT for me. So I can use an image generation. For example, I can use a code generation, what we are going to see in upcoming weeks, how to use the ChatGPT to create code for me, Playwright, API automation, whatever the code you ask for, it can able to create the code where you are providing the prompts in a basic English format. It does not need to be in Java. It doesn't need to be in JavaScript. Whatever you say with plain basic English, the GPT will understand and will convert and give you the response in whatever the content you ask for. Now, by the way, the slides will be shared to you. Will share it to the test type and test type will share. So I'll not go in deeper in all the points. I want to give a high level on what is the difference between the traditional AI and the Gen AI. The most important difference is on the primary focus. What AI is focusing? AI is focusing on recognizing the patterns, analyzing the patterns, defining the preset rules. This is where the traditional AI will go in versus the Gen AI. Gen AI is for creation of new data. How I use the Gen AI could be different from how Shashwat will use it or how Kapil will use it. We might not be using it in the same way. So Gen AI is for generating the new contents depends on the user's requirement. For example, in the output type, as I told you, for traditional AI, the output type is always the predefined answers. So you already, when you're creating the AI model, you will give that this is how I want the output is. Tomorrow, you cannot expect any new output from that because it will say, no, I already have a predefined rule with me. I can give only that. Suddenly, you cannot go and change the output model in between. Versus in ChatGPT, that's not the case. You can ask an output in text. In next 1 second itself, you can ask, no, text is not looking good for me. Can you give it in a PDF? No, PDF also is not looking good for me. Can you give it in Excel? Anything you can ask it to give it in the runtime because its nature itself is to give different things by generating it. And so, as I told, this slide, you can go through it for understanding the exact difference. But the most important point is how much it values for a QA. As I told, this workshop is for QA. So how much values it helps me if I'm learning AI versus Gen AI. AI helps the QA's team to understand the patterns, identifying the area for focus, making data-driven decisions, these kinds of things, basically for prediction and analyzing the data. As I told you, in real time, it's very less than 1% of market people are doing it, but rather than that, mostly it is for the people to understand or to generate things for their project based creation of code, creation of images, documents. So that's the reason we are focusing more on the Gen AI in this entire workshop. Now, why we learn the generative AI over the traditional AI? The same points which I explained in the previous slides, that's the same reason applies to here also. We are going to focus on the content creation, which will help us to save the time where instead of me doing the things, we are going to ask the AI to do the things for me. It will be more value for an automation QA and specifically for my career relevance to grow in my career. That's the reason we are going to make the use of Gen AI. Any question, folks? Now, I guess until joining today, you would be thinking of learning different things that Vignesh is going to teach these things, AI, all. But now I guess everyone would have a clear understanding what we are going to learn in terms of AI. It's not AI, it's Gen AI, and how our 4 weeks learning is going to be. Any questions on those? Awesome. Cool. Now, I really don't know who asked that question, but it was actually one of my slides. That's the reason I paused for that. I don't know who asked me that question, as I remember the question was bad side of AI. Who asked that question? Was it Kapil or I can't remember who asked that question.
It's me, Vignesh, Satish.
Satish. Makes sense. Yeah. I won't say, as I mentioned when I was explaining to Satish, I will not say it's a bad, but I'm gonna say, as per the slide content explains here, is Gen AI is a threat to our jobs. That's the most important thing which we need to understand. Guys, you can hear me clearly, right? No issues with the network or something. It's clear, right?
Yeah, it's clear.
Yes.
Don't know why Google slide is not loading. Seems to be I have a good internet. Yeah, so internet is good. Maybe let me try to open it one more time. Maybe.
AI doesn't want to
Nope.
show bad things.
Okay, all the content is in my brain. I can speak for all, but I want to show something, but it's not allowing me. Come on, whatever. Let me close it, refresh it one more time. Let's see, I don't know. It should open. Nope. I'm not sure if it's really an internet issue or maybe Google is down. Can anyone quickly open PPT in their drive and see if it's working for any of you guys? So, which will say if there is a common issue, then whatever I do will not open. Okay, why? Let me refresh. So it's refreshing. This no, not
Working for
working for you? Yeah. I really don't know because the other slides are opening. Yeah. So this is fine. Maybe there is an issue with this slide alone. I really don't know. Let's yeah, maybe there is an issue with this slide alone, I guess. Let me try to open one more time. Yeah. Other things are perfectly working, opening. Okay. It's by God's grace, it's open. I'll see if slideshow is coming. Yeah, perfect. Good. So the question which we need to ask or always fear when AI was coming into the market, this was the exact question I was asking to myself. Is my job is a threat? Is my job isn't threat? Am I going to lose my job? Obviously, everyone will have that question. For example, everyone who started their career as a manual test engineer when I was starting as such, when Selenium was boom in that time, and I'm speaking 11 years back situations when everyone is speaking about Selenium, I was very scared. Okay, what is everyone is saying about Selenium? This was like 6 months into the time I joined in my job. So everyone is speaking on Selenium. What is Selenium going to lose? Am I going to lose my job because of Selenium came into the market? But we know that's not the case. It actually evolved us to create more works and all those things. Similarly, when the AI came into the market, it was really panicking for everyone, including me, to think that is AI is going to take our job or Gen AI is going to take our job. I don't know if anyone closely follows up the AI related news and everything. There was one 6 months back, if I'm not wrong, there was one tool created by Davis, which was being claimed as that it will make the entire software developer work to be vanishing. I don't know if anyone saw any video like that where that guy was saying that he was entering the prompt, he took his hand out of the system, it was creating the front end web screens and all, but turned to be it's a fake. That guy got arrested, so that's a different discussion. But by seeing that video, literally, I was in my office cafeteria, if I'm not wrong. My friends and we all were looking into that video together. The back-end engineers and front-end engineers' face got changed. They're saying, okay, something is coming up like this. What am I going to do? This was the actual discussion when we were having coffee on that time. So people are getting panicking currently that is AI is going to take my job. Everyone. That's the reason, maybe one of the reason for you to join this workshop too. So here in this slide, we are going to understand that is AI going to take our job. But before understanding for QA, first we'll understand what are all the jobs which are actually in risk because of the invention of AI and Gen AI. Can anyone say one or two jobs which is actually is in risk because of this AI invention?
Content creation.
Okay, very good. Yeah.
Customer support.
Customer support, very good. Any one more point?
I see developers compared to testers.
If that happens, I'm the happiest person, man. Really.
Yeah.
Okay. So the main jobs which are mostly into risks are the one which is a repetitive manual task. I don't know who told that. It's called something called content creation. I don't know even if you know there is a job like this. My sister was doing it. This was 15 years back. Scenario which I'm speaking. Transcriptive typing. Has anyone heard a job like this where my sister's job was to listen to the audio what the person is saying and need to type it and send it as a document. This was an actual job which she got paid to do like this. Do you think in the cut and there was jobs like this until a couple of years back where we need to manually type the content. There is something called as manual content creator where you design a product. For example, let's say I'm gonna sell this phone to the customer. There will be a document created for that. Until now, it was been all manually a QA, sorry, manually a person who is doing it. Do you think those things will be still done manually? Obviously not. These kinds of manual things will be automatically taken by the AI. Aditi was about to say something. I saw you unmuted, but just curious.
No.
Okay. Whatever the repetitive manual things will gonna get vanished. Routine analysis job. For example, if I want to analyze a data, I'm not speaking of a big data or something like that, but very companies will handle a small data analysis and all those things. Those jobs will 100% will get eradicated because of the AI, because AI will analyze 100 times better than us. Trust me. Analyzing skills of AI is to the next level than what we do. And next is, for instance, of low skill and high volume tasks. For example, I personally have done this kinds of things when I was in college where we need to do Excel entering. Has anyone did works like this where we need to enter Excel, we need to work on those? Has anyone done it ever? Like creating text and those things. These kinds of things is going to get completely eradicated because he will pay me 50 rupees per day or 70 rupees if I remember correctly in my college, where we need to enter day, we need to enter Excel, copying values from here, manually reading one and doing all those things. These kinds of low skill but high volume tasks will be completely eradicated or is already getting eradicated because of the AI. For example, I don't know who told customer service that one of the real time example which we see. How many of you have recently tried to call Airtel or any telecom and try to get an answer? Does anyone tried very recently? Anything? Or maybe airlines, whatever. Has anyone tried trying calling them recently?
I did, but it was like really a worst experience. I didn't get what I wanted, but I,
Correct.
I ended up with not resolving my issue, and I didn't even connect to the customer, actual human customer
Correct.
service.
Correct. So can you say which one you called if you can share?
Airtel.
Okay. Similar experience I had to have with some flight. I was calling, I guess it was Air India. Their Autobot was extremely horrible, horrible to the next level. I'm asking something and it's giving me always the same answer. Vignesh, see if this document has your answer. I said, no, it doesn't have. Vignesh, see if this document is having an answer. The same document is keep on showing me. After a point, I feel to break my laptop. So, but there are some, but that's how they implemented the chat bots. It doesn't mean that AI is problem. The how they implemented it or how they written the code is the problem. But in real time and same Airtel, I have a good example. I was searching for a plan or something. Usually I will do this when I'm in India. When I was like 7 8 years back, I will call the customer care. I'll speak to the person who picks up. I'll ask that I'm in currently in this plan, which plan will be suitable for me, will I have to increase or decrease all these things. Now this entire thing is taken care by a chatbot. I speak with the chatbot will analyze the data for me. It knows my mobile number, it knows what plan I do, it exactly understands what I'm asking, and it will give me the response from its pre-data. So yes, obviously there are areas where it doesn't perform well, but most of that, so imagine 7 8 years back or when I'm calling, it will be like thousands and thousands of real-time persons working for that. Now, really, I spoke with one of not that, if I remember correctly, my friend's friend. He's working in Vodafone. He is working for there for more than 7 years. He can clearly see how much the real-time customer that branches are closing. For example, if 1,000 people are working there, now it's only 20 or 30 people are working because those people are there to resolve the issues which chatbots cannot. Most of the things are automatically taken care by chatbots. This is a real-time scenario. I'm not speaking something not happening in real world. Whatever the data I speak is from real-time data I'm speaking with people. These are the real-time scenarios. So these kinds of manual jobs are at risk. Now, the question is AI is going to take away my job or transform them? So before answering it from the AI forefront, I'll take the example of Selenium. Is anyone here, because I heard many people told that they have 10 plus years, 12 plus years experience. So maybe the question I'm going to ask might be more relevant for them. Has anyone converted at the initial time of the Selenium released early 2010s and those areas where they were a manual tester and then slowly moved to the Selenium? Is anyone did that here? Yes, no.
Yes.
So Sheetal, if you can recall that time when we were doing a manual thing and the Selenium was a booming at that early 2010, 2011 time, how was that scenario over there where everyone was being pressurized by the Selenium and we were thinking that we will lose our jobs and all, but how was the scenario at that time? Just wanted to know.
Yes, including me. We were in the situation where we we thought we might lose our jobs, and then
Correct.
there we started learning Selenium and automation.
Correct. But the question is, did you or anyone you know who lost their job?
No, no,
Correct. But
not at all. Yeah.
what it actually helped you, it helped you to enter into the world of automation. And now you might be, if I remember correctly, you're a QA manager. So, right. So you are in a better position because of the invention of Selenium, if I put it in that
True.
way. True?
Yeah, true. Yes.
Yeah. Uh, Atit, you want to say something? I saw your hand raised, but
Yeah. So we because of those inventions, like we none of them lost any job or this thing, but it actually helped improving release cycles. So because of which, like many features can be delivered quicker, faster, and then business is getting developed.
exactly. So tools like this and all, now you can relate the same thing for AI. When AI, I'll give one more very real time example. This entire topic, the slide, I was speaking in one of an international conference. I was speaking for that. So when I was researching for that, this was not the first time we are having it. I don't know if anyone heard this saying in English, history repeats itself. Have you heard this saying? Whatever we are going through now, it's already happened in our past. I took the example of Selenium because it's very close to QAs, but if I wanted to take even more history example for that, when calculator was invented, the person who does the things manually, the calculations manually, were actually thought and feared. This I was reading in a blog. I was reading a book for my research. I can't remember the year. Sorry, it was 1800 or early 1900, something like that. Where when the calculator was invented, all the manual mathematicians were literally scared. They were thinking, okay, that's all doomed. I'm gonna lose my entire career or something. But was the result as such? Actually, calculators made us to work much more better, much more faster. We could able to do the calculations faster. Same example with computer. When computer was invented, again, people who does the things manually, whatever we are doing currently with computer now, when it was being done manually without the computer, people were scared again to see a system like that. But again, the question is, does computer did made anyone to lose the job? No, it actually created hundreds and hundreds of new jobs. The same scenarios, history is repeating itself with AI. AI will not take away your job, but will transform them. There is a difference where if imagine me and Atit are being a drivers. If I'm saying that no, I will drive only manual. Let's say me and Atit are Uber drivers. We both are driving manual cars. Now we see the trend is automotive car. I'm still being in the manual mode only. I'm saying Atit, no, bro, I'm not interested to learn how to drive an automotive car. But let's say Atit is smart. He's taking up a class for the automotive, how to use the automotive car and something. Technically, the person who didn't learn that will lose the job. In this case, it's me. Why? Because it's transforming. Still, the job is to drive the car. But now Atit knows how to drive both manual and automatic car. The same thing with AI too. AI will not take your job but transform them. How? As I told, AI is augments rather than replaces, which means it will help or assist the humans to do the work better, not by replacing them. The same example for chatbots and all those things, it is taking up most of the manual tasks which a human does was doing until now, but it made to lose some jobs. I'm not saying no, I'm not gonna say all good things about AI, that AI will not make to lose some jobs. The question is it gonna make lose the QA job? If I'm in a call with a call center person, now he or she will come to beat me saying that because of AI, I lost my job. Yeah, those areas are affected. I'm not saying no. This entire slide discussion is for QA. Is QA is going to lose the job? The answer on a high level is no, unless you don't learn it. That's the point. You need to learn it. If you learn it, you're in a very safe space. Next is shift in skill requirements. What, as I was explaining when one of, I don't know who told that point, where earlier the skill set required by a QA was different versus now. 10, 11 years back, QA, if it's a QA, needs to know write test cases, maybe good in writing automation, one or two cases, but mainly on writing the cases, documenting the cases, those. But now, as I'm taking interview on a daily basis, even myself, I'm looking for a person who knows everything. He or she needs to know 100% of it? No, obviously not. No one can know that, but at least basics of everything. Does someone know basics of DevOps? Does someone know basics of performance testing? Like that, people need to know at least everything. Similarly, one of the requirement which we are gonna put in some years, mark my words, maybe in couple of years, will be people need to know how to work with AI. How skillful they are depends on the job they'll jump in. If from 10 lakhs, they'll jump to 60 lakhs, 70 lakhs because they know how to do it better. But if they need to know, that will come as one of the hard requirement in upcoming years. AI is actually creating more jobs. I don't know if anyone knows, until 3 years back or 4 years back, has anyone ever heard a word, something called prompt engineer? Has anyone know there is a new role created called prompt engineer, a new role created called AI developer, AI engineer, AI QA? We are not, but there is an AI QA, AI data engineer, like that. There are new job opportunities created by AI. We all were got scared that our jobs will go, but actually AI is helping us to create new jobs. So one of an example is that Gen AI can automate test cases. The same example what I was giving before. So AI will not take out your job unless you are not started to using it. If you keep on postponing learning them, or if you keep on postponing neglecting it, sooner it's gonna replace you. But if you are in the verge of learning it, if you're starting to use it on a daily basis, your job is 100% safe. Any question? Okay. So all this, whatever I told is, you can think, okay, Vignesh is saying because he is taking an AI workshop. Obviously, that's how the thought process will go. But here there are some solid proofs which says by real-time World Economic Forum reports and examples as such, which clearly says that according to the World Economic Forum report, I missed to paste the link. If possible, I'll paste it later, where they are saying that AI may displace some roles. That's true. No one is neglecting it, but it is also projected to create more jobs in 2025. As I told, that AI engineer, AI prompt engineer, like this, new jobs are getting emerged on a daily basis because of the invention of the AI. Similarly, specific to the QA field, when I was researching for this, companies that are adopting this GenAI have reported that they are using the GenAI for the automative tasks and using the human testers to focus on the things which is AI cannot do. In the next presentation, we are going to see what we are better at than AI. Still, at current day, what we as a human are better at AI, there are some points which we will discuss in the next PPT. But what companies are interested now is they are not interested to eradicate, let's say Vignesh is a person, they are not interested to eradicate Vignesh. Rather, they are going to put all the manual tasks Vignesh used to do by the AI and going to use Vignesh purely for the testing purpose on strategically how to do it. These kinds of things, they will use the Vignesh. So that's how it works in the QA field. For instance, auto on the automation point. For example, instead of us doing the things manually, I guess Atit told it correctly if I'm not wrong, automation helped us to actually deliver things much faster. Earlier, it will be actually, again in back the days, we will have a dedicated regression time after the development is done. That time it was waterfall, to be honest. But we will develop it, we will have a proper testing sessions, then we will release it. Actually, the end customer will get it in a very late manner. But with the current agile sprint and all those modes, because of inclusion of the automation, we can able to. I was working in projects, not in my current, in my previous ones, and before to that, it's everyday deployable. When I say everyday deployable, the code, let's say Atit is my backend engineer. Atit is writing a code today morning. The same code will be available in production at the end of the day. We can able to deliver it in the same day, completing not by losing any testing or something, by doing everything, still we can able to deploy it on a daily basis. These kinds of things came into picture in the current world because of the introduction of automation. And many companies are using the AI. For example, in my own company, the current company which I work for, I'm, as being an AI like an enthusiast, I work mostly with AI. When I was discussing this with my manager, he's the senior person in the entire company, so I report to him. When I was speaking with him, he was very interested. We purchased more AI tools and all, and now I'm training my team in how to use the AI. For example, let's say there was a QA who he or she was doing some things manually. When I noticed those things, we purchased a ChatGPT license, we purchased the Cursor AI licenses and all those things. And now how they perform 6 months back versus now, the same person can able to handle two teams without losing the essence of the quality or something. So where companies are ready to pay and do all those things, but only when we prove that this will make their work much easier or they can produce more results. So companies are actually interested. I guess who asked this question on the GDPR content and all? There is some cases where we cannot 100% use them, but that's not for all the companies. Most of the companies are being okay to use them once we show some actual progress that we are doing much better when we have AI with us. Now, how the professional QA professionals can future-proof their career? Obviously, by embracing the AI tools. Do not get scared for the tools which we are going to show. In this case, we are going to use ChatGPT, but tomorrow, as I told you, a new AI tool launches. Don't feel sad or don't feel worried about it. Try starting using it. Try starting use them and then embrace it. So that's where you will actually grow as a QA. Focus on developing soft skills. I personally believe this, that even now when we take interviews and all those things, if a person doesn't have a soft skill, especially for a QA profession, it's hard. I don't know how much you people believe it or not. Than a developer, a QA needs to be much more better in communication, because developer's job is not needing that. He or she needs to get the requirement, type the code, push it, go there. But QA's job always needs a one of the important soft skills, communication. You should be good in communication. So once you can able to start doing these manual things via AI, you can start focusing on your soft skills to crack bigger interviews and all those things. Next is learn AI supervision and management, which means, as I told you, do not, my personal suggestion is now, as I told that I'm working it on a daily basis, even though I give all the works to the AI, I will not trust it blindly. I always supervise it, which means I give the work to the AI, I supervise the output it gives, and then I use it. So learn how to use an AI supervision and manage them. And obviously, the last point, unfortunately or fortunately, we are QAs, we have to continuously learn. If I learn like every day, even now, I learn at least 3 hours every day. Whatever the time, I don't know, wherever I find time, 2 hours or 3 hours, every day I learn something new. You have to do that. If you have to survive in the market and be in top position, you always need to learn something on a daily basis. So continuously, you have to learn, not just AI, any topic. Specifically, as we are discussing AI, you have to continuously learn it. If not, then you are replaceable. And what are the key takeaways here from this discussion? Generative AI will not replace you. It is just to help you to do your job better, where it automates the repetitive one. Most importantly, your creative things cannot be taken by the AI. How smart it is and everything, which we'll see in the next PPT, it cannot take away your creative things. Next is, as I told, new roles and responsibilities are introduced now in the QA area because of the invention of AI, and we are future proofing our career because of learning the generative AI skills. Any question, folks? Any question? Does still, okay, I'll ask this way. Maybe you can put it in a chat or raise your hand. Does still any of you believe that you are going to lose your job because of the AI, or you're thinking your job is going to become much more easier or fun to do because of the invention of AI? Yes, no. Guys, at least for first day, you have to be on camera or speak, because it's very hard for me to know whether you understand it or not.
Yeah, yes, like it will be easier and then fun to do.
Adit, your voice is very low. Can you say again? I didn't understand.
Yeah, it will be easier and then fun to do with the new technology.
Exactly. But the actual question is anyone scared? I was scared 3-4 years back. I will not. I don't have any shame to say that I was scared. But later I'm not scared at all. But is anyone still scared to thinking that they are going to lose their job or something like that?
No, actually, it creates an opportunity to learn more what we have actually known.
Exactly. Correct.
Yeah, I think also we'll have more jobs in QA, as I said, Vignesh, compared to developers.
Correct.
Because
Correct.
I think other area, what I think is the QA would test the risks what this generative AI tools can they are learning automatically, and if they are giving the risks with the outputs, I
Correct.
think,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
that would be
True.
another area to test.
Right. But see, one point is, let's say we all are meeting after 2 years or 3 years. Will I have the same slides? Who knows? Maybe that time we will have a new AI, something like which can evolve our jobs into anything. Whatever the only problem with AI is, I also have a problem with that. Whenever I take any AI workshop or something, before a week or so, I will again research and do all those things. What was the trend? For example, the last AI workshop I took it 2.5, 2 months back, 2.5 months back. That time there was only 3 or 4 models available in ChatGPT, but in this 1 month they released 2 more models. So I have to learn that. I have to include those. Problem with AI is evolving every day, literally every day. Every day you have to learn and keep yourself adapted to that version. That's the problem. A problem and how you can be on top of that. Cool. Now, until now, we were speaking all good things about AI, but the only important thing which we are going to ask to ourselves is Gen AI superior to human brains? Yes, no. How many of you thinks yes, it is superior to human brains, or who thinks no? Still, there are human which is better than AI in these areas. Who will say yes? Who will say no?
Yes or
No,
no,
actually.
both.
Okay, yes. Okay.
No.
Any no's?
No.
No.
In some aspects, they might be superior.
Okay. But
Context
most of you
matters.
think that AI is superior to us.
No, because we are the one who created AI. So
That's the spirit. Very good. Good. Okay. Now, to answer this, it's 50-50. Imagine that, let's say I'm cooking. My wife is also cooking. Who cooks better depends on what dish we cook. Let's say if I'm cooking something, I'm South Indian, by the way. So if I cook anything South Indian, I would be doing great. Like I keep sambar, I keep these things which will be top of the notch. Really, it will be top of the notch. Versus if I try to do anything North Indian, she's not a North Indian by the way, but she does great North Indian food. When I try to mimic that, I end up doing okayish kind of a fried rice, but her fried rice will be restaurant style. Now, the question is now if someone asks me, let's say Sukanya is walking to our home and asking me, Vignesh, are you a better cook or is your wife is a better cook? The question is what dish you're asking for. Depends on dish, we will say who is the better cook. The same answer applies for Gen AI too. Yes, Gen AI is superior to humans in certain ways. Vice versa, Gen AI doesn't do a great job what a human can do. So it depends on what is the task you are asking for. Now, for example, first we'll understand what Gen AI is good at, because then only when we are thinking to cascade this work to AI, we have to think, okay, first is Gen AI good in that? So we have to understand what Gen AIs are good in it. First is in terms of speed. Absolutely, without any doubt, if me doing a job versus Gen AI is doing the job, 200% Gen AI will think and do the job much faster and efficiently, which I cannot do. I'll take an example of test case writing. It can write test cases with most efficient and most speed under 1 second or maximum 3 seconds, where Vignesh will even take 5 seconds to open the pen and start writing. So Gen AI is the most speed and efficient in terms of these. Second is in terms of pattern recognition. Again, can human cannot do that? Yes, until now humans was doing good, but it will take ages and ages or years and years to recognize some patterns or analyze things. where the AI will do it in minutes. AI can able to recognize the pattern because it runs in a faster manner, so it can able to recognize the patterns and all those things. Next is generating the consistent content. That's the most important thing. As I told in the same example, if you ask me to do a test or to write a test case, if Vignesh, let's say I had my morning coffee. So now if you ask me to do something, I will be in the charged mode, I can do it. But let's say you're asking me at the end of the day, I will be in a pale mood, I will not be in a good position to write. So I will be ending up writing okayish test cases. But Gen AI is a mission at the end of the day. Always it will give you the consistent results. Irrespective of you ask any n number of time, the result will be consistent. There will be no change. For example, Gen AI can create quickly the test cases by reading the requirements, by understanding the past bug reports, many things whatever we discussed earlier. AI can able to do it 100% better than a human. Tomorrow if some person is coming and saying no Vignesh, I only do it better, I will think, okay, you think like that, but then which means you don't know how to use the AI, because these are the areas which 100% Gen AI does better. On vice versa, we also need to understand what are all the limitations of Gen AI. Before I show it, because until now we spoke a lot good things about Gen AI, can anyone say one or two points you think Gen AI will lack or currently lacking in certain areas?
Creativity.
Okay, very good.
Like Gen AI gets overwhelmed. Like if we ask too many questions, there are
Very good.
some hallucinations also.
Very good. Correct.
Right? It cannot store the data. Like it forgets the past reference.
Not that really. You can make able to make it believe, but that's okay. I understand what you're saying, but that's not actually true. That's
Okay.
okay.
And it all depends on what type of data it is trained. If we put
Correct.
garbage in, it will
Correct.
garbage out. Right? So
Very
yeah.
good. Correct. The one which you put in, that's the answer you expect for. Very good. Correct.
Yeah, it
Manas.
cannot it cannot
Sorry.
understand the context. Sorry.
Go on, go on. Say again, Satish.
It cannot understand the context.
What do you mean by that? Like?
We have to give this just like setting up the
Understood.
context with prompting.
Okay. 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 Makes sense. Okay. Manas?
Yeah, one more thing that they are biased to the data. So whatever data you give it to them, so they will
Very
learn
good.
based on those data. And one more
Exactly.
thing, they are not emotional, so they lack emotional context.
Manas, by any chance, did you saw the PPT? You're saying all the 3, 4 points which I had, man.
No, because I know that is like it lacks
Just kidding.
emotional.
Just kidding. Just
Okay.
kidding. Yeah, that's the exact points. The first point is lack of true understanding. Gen AI lacks the genuine comprehension, which means it all depends on the inputs which we pass to. It doesn't have any intelligence or the way human analyzes it. So it doesn't understand the lack of true understanding, the scenario behind it. Whatever the things you say without any context, it will just understand only the data which you ask for and it will give you. It will not have any intelligence to think, okay, what Vignesh is asking itself can be wrong, so I should not give the answer. These kinds of things will not work in the Gen AI world. Similarly, limited creativity. Is it zero creativity? No, that's the point. It's not zero creativity, but with limited creativity. I'll give a very simple example. Will if time permits, today I'll try to show that also. I want to create a image of a dog kicking a football. Imagine, let's say I want to create an image where in my brain, in my idea, I was thinking a dog stands like a human. It kicks the ball like a Ronaldo does, and the ball flies through the a place to the goal. Even if I give perfect prompts for this, even if I'm explaining this to, let's say, if I'm explaining this to my 3-year-old daughter, if she is skilled, she can able to draw it because I can able to make her understand as she is a human. But it's not that easy for making the AI to understand it. AI will actually create a dog, AI will put a football in before that and all. But I'll give a very simple example. In my brain, as we most of them are being here Indians, when we say football, is it a white with black dots football or is it an American football, which we refer as football?
White and black.
Correct. For us, football means we have to do that. But for AI, it can also think it as an American football. It doesn't know if Vignesh is a Indian or Vignesh is an American. According to it, it will also, all the things which I say is on my personal trained basis. I test all this and I'm saying it gives me output as a dog having a football holder that American football one. But in my brain, I wanted it was the regular football. So creativity will be, there is a lack, but is that it's going to be in future years? No. In future, they are working specifically on creativity in terms of making the AI to think like human. So how the AI evolved, because I read a lot of papers, I was doing too much research. Actually, we are going in a loop, which is not good for the world, but technically we are going in the loop. Why we created AI in first place? We created AI in first place because it should think not like a human thinks. It should to create think differently. Now we are making that half circle to come to a full circle. Now we are making the AI to think like a human. We initially made it to think out, not like a human. Now we are making it to think like a human. So that's where that problem is evolving. But companies are like, for example, OpenAI, many companies, Claude, these companies are working to fill this gap where it will do the job of AI, plus it also does with the creativity. But at the current 2025, May 24, that's not the case. Maybe 1 year, 2 year later, maybe this gap can be filled. But currently it has a limited creativity. Second, all on dependent on data. Very, very important point is the model you ask the question, the same model. For example, if I'm asking, let's say model A, which is the recent model, can give you a different answer versus if I'm asking the same question, same copied and paste, the new model can give a different question. Why? Because this was different, trained on a different data set. The other model was trained on a different data set. So when you ask the question, you need to be mindful of which guy you're asking the question and which model you're asking, like how you ask and who you ask. This is the most important trick you have to understand when you're working with AI. Last important one is no emotional intelligence. However skillful it is not having any emotional. It lacks in empathy, intuition. All these basic human things which we have doesn't being at least now can able to adapt by the Gen AI. So you ask any question. Let's say I'm asking a question that there is a fire accident. Who will I save? Will I save a baby or will I save my mother? Like these kinds of questions. It's all behind an emotional intelligence. We have to answer it from an emotional perspective, but AI will always think it as a data and will answer it from a data perspective. So example is that AI might miss the subtle bugs that require critical thinking. For example, if you ask it to analyze a data, AI will understand it from a theoretical perspective, but it will not understand from a UI perspective or a user perspective. For example, when I test, I always doesn't go by the test case. I do some monkey testing. I always do an explorative testing. If someone says, Vignesh, test this app, I first try to kill the app. I'll see if I'm triple tapping the app, is it failing? Can AI think of it? No. If a button needs to be clicked only once, I'll try to click it without taking my hand for 5 times, seeing if the button is breaking. So these kinds of creative things and subtle bugs kind of things cannot be think even by the AI, where we need a human intelligence behind that. Now, we understood what AI does better, what AI lacks. Similarly, now we will understand what humans are better for. Obviously, whatever is not better by AI is better by the humans. It's exactly opposite. We are good in creativity. We are good in innovating the things. For example, all the example which we said doesn't work in AI can be done or be done better by humans. For example, in terms of intuition and judgment, we are better in judgment making, not by just analyzing the data, but also by analyzing the environment, the people involved in all those things we will take into consideration. We are good in emotional intelligence. We are good in terms of adaptability. So these kinds of things we are still good at, I believe. Tomorrow, can AI replace it? Only God knows. I don't know. Maybe tomorrow AI can become much better in terms of creativity and innovation or emotional intelligence. Tomorrow, an AI can be invented with that. But with the current market, these are the areas which we are good at, and those are the areas which AI is good at. For example, a human QA professional excel in exploitative testing. Even now, I always do the regular automation, test case creation, always with the AI, but still, I personally sit for 1 hour during the release to do an exploitative testing. I cannot give this in hands to AI because I know AI is not good at it. So when you take up a task before giving it to the AI, you have to understand who does it better. Is AI is doing it better or Vignesh is doing it better? So you have to understand that, then you need to give that problem to the AI. That is the main reason why I had this PPT is for us to understand which we are good at and which the AI is good at. So again, I'll share this slide. You can have a good look at it. So when you take up any task, make sure you're running by this table. The reason why I'm sharing this table is any task you pick up, you have to understand which it falls into. For example, I asked 2 questions. Anyone can answer for them. I want to create the test cases. Will I give it to Gen AI or will I do it?
Gen AI.
Why?
It creates faster
Very good.
and
Let's
reduce
say
our effort.
perfect. And let's say the second question is, I wanted to do a testing session, kind of like an exploratory testing or something like that, where I don't know the exact requirements of what I test, but I want to test the application, or I wanted to derive a test cases for those kinds of things. Will I do it or will I ask AI to do it?
It's
Human.
human task.
Correct. Why? In this case, we say human because
Because we do better in critical thinking and problem solving, and we can explore more areas.
exactly. So,
Vignesh, I will say it otherwise.
okay,
Maybe
why?
if I do not know the requirement, then I would give it to generative AI. If I know the requirements, then I will do it. Or
No, actually, okay. You finish up, I'll answer for that. You finish up.
no, I'm
So
done.
when I say you don't know the requirement, I meant to say that exactly by test cases, doing this step, doing that step, but rather you know the feature what you are testing on. You are saying that, let's say I have a new feature of paying by QR code or something like that. You know the feature, but you don't know the exact steps of how you do, like kind of like an exploratory testing session. These kinds of things, how can you make, when you itself doesn't know how to better do it, how will you ask the AI to do it? The first thumb rule of working with AI is, if you are unsure how the things will work, obviously you can take its help to do it, but 99% of chances, same like you, it will also get hallucinate. It will not be in the same way what you're gonna think of. Does it?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Got
So
it.
simple thumb rule which I follow on a daily basis is, if I'm asking a question to AI, 99% of cases I should know, I should expect what kind of answers I'm looking for, not the exact answers, what kind of answer. Because as I told, if I'm feeding garbage, I don't know who told that word, that's exactly my words I used to say. If I feed garbage, I get the output as garbage. So if it's giving a garbage, I should be in a position to smell it and understand, okay, what you give is not correct, this is not what I expect. If I don't even know that whatever it gives is correct or not, if I'm not in the position to do, I better advise not to go with the AI. That actually will give you a false result, which will end you up in making in a better bad position. Do you understand the difference, Kapil? Kapil is one asked, right? I don't know.
Yes. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, Kishan, go on.
Yeah, I think you made a very, I mean, it's also like a very valid point, I would say. So coming to the lines of, say, should I give the test case writing to the AI? I feel like it should be kind of a dual job where initially, at least, like, say, saving the time for basically jotting down the test cases and the steps. I think we can give it a pattern, and then AI can take it forward to scale those things up. I think there is where I think we need to complement each other and go.
That's
But
the
on the likes of, say, coming to the point of, say, doing exploratory test, I think even if we are not directing the AI to do any kind of test, I think AI will think on its own and it's going to generate. And how are we
correct.
going to basically evaluate that? That will be the next
Correct.
question around it. So again, we're going
Correct.
back to the same case that we don't have a requirement, right? So I
Exactly.
think
See,
it,
no, when I say, okay, I should have phrased it much better. When I say no requirement, it's not like zero requirements in my side. I know what I'm going to test, but I don't know exactly how it should look or something like that. So I'll take the example of again an exploratory testing. When I'm doing a black box testing or something like that, I know I'm going to test these screens, but how should I test it or something? If when I itself was not clear, then my personal suggestion would be is don't ask AI to do it. Will
yep.
AI cannot do? AI can do, but you will not be in a position to assess the result and get the data and do that. That's the difference.
Correct, 100%. I think that's fair enough. Yeah.
No, but the reason is why all the points which I'm saying is my personal experiences. Nothing is just by preaching or me reading in a book and just vomiting it here. No, all are the personal experiences because when I tried the AI for the first time, I got so into. I was literally cascading all the jobs to the AI at the initial time and I got backfired like anything. The result which it gave sometimes was tremendous, sometimes was literally shit. I can't even read that lines because it was hallucinating like anything where I was in a position just copied and paste. And one time I even sent my manager without reading it. I was trusting the AI because I didn't know that time. I didn't know which one should I ask for AI and which I shouldn't. So I sent it. Luckily, my manager was leave, so he didn't see. Then I edited it. But I'm saying things like this can happen if you don't know which one you should give the AI and not. Yeah, Shashwat, go on.
Yeah, so like in like so current situation, we can say if you don't know the prompt, if you're not aware like what exactly the situation is and how it will work, like at the last, the prompt is the thing which it requires, right?
Uh, yes and no. I'll put it this way. Prompt is something which helps you to convey what you needed from the system in a better formatted way. Okay. Rather than saying, I need a test case for login, let's say Shashwat is writing a prompt like, I need give me test cases for login. Okay. This is one prompt which you say. Do you think it will not give you result? It will give you result, but will it be proper or will it be 100% better? No. Versus when I write the same. So what is our intention, Shashwat? Our intention is to get the login scenarios out from the GenAI. Correct? So you give the prompt versus me giving a prompt. When I tweak, we will learn in detail on prompt engineering. I'm purposefully skipping it because you will understand it much better when we actually see it in live. When I do that, now the system understands better what Vignesh asks for. Versus in Shashwat's case, Shashwat is asking a general thing. So again, there is a slight chance of it getting misguided or something. So it will give you the result, but how trustable it is, we don't know. Versus me asking a precise question, that's called as prompt. Does it make sense, Shashwat?
Okay.
Awesome. Now, the last point over here is as a human intelligence, we need to complement the generative AI. How I see AI is I'm not seeing AI as a rival to me. I'm actually seeing it as my best friend in daily basis. I complement it. I do something better. He does or he or she does something better. Certain tasks I'll take, certain tasks I'll give to the AI. As simple as it is. So which means, but at the end of the day, 200% I always say this to my students is be as a AI supervisor. Whatever the AI is giving, don't trust it. Always don't trust it. Even though you write better prompts after this workshop and all those things, still don't blindly copy it and paste it without you knowing what it gives. Many a times it gives good content. I don't say no to that, but still always be as an AI supervisor. Next, use AI for the repetitive tasks, which humans can do but still don't want to waste time, versus focus your energy on strategic decisions, making sure, like simple example, let's say if there are three QAs, I'm being the lead, I want to put the QAs, let's say Kishan, you today be on A team, Shashwat, you be on B team. I can ask this question to ChatGPT, but will ChatGPT will be able to put thinking which task Kishan is good at. If let's say Kishan is very good in writing test cases, but I'm putting him in a task of automation is actually waste. So I have to know on strategically which one should I do. So these kinds of things humans are better at. Next, symbiosis between humans and AI. So what basically it means is that we have to understand in terms of what humans are good at, and when humans and AI work together, we create the best world. It's not just me working alone or giving everything to AI and I'm sitting alone. Not that. We have to work together to create the best work for that. Any question, folks, before we move to the next one? Any question? Okay. Now, the last topic related to the introductory session is why, Vignesh, you're using ChatGPT? Is ChatGPT companies giving you any incentive because you're showing it in a workshop or something? Because people things like that. Because when we promote a tool, always this question will pop up. Why we are choosing ChatGPT over other tools? Before answering that question, first we need to understand what all other tools are available in market and then why we choose ChatGPT for this workshop. Before I move to the next slide, can anyone say any other AI tools or something apart from ChatGPT? Maybe a couple of more.
Cloud.
Gemini,
Claude, Gemini. Okay.
Cloud,
Perplexity.
DeepSeek.
DeepSeek, yeah.
Okay.
Copilot.
Any other? Copilot, very good. Anything else? Okay, there are actually many more AI models. When I was researching this, again, as I told you, before every Gen AI workshop, I sit for a day or 2 days. I will research one more time. Obviously, it will not be the same amount how I researched for a couple of years back, but still I do the research to understand what all the new AI tools came in market. For exact, yesterday I was reading a new AI tool which came in something called Mistral AI. It's a new open source AI which came, which said to be much more better than other AI tools. I didn't practice it. Maybe for next AI workshop, I'll do that also. But what I'm trying to say is every day new AI comes. But the names which we spoke, ChatGPT, Cloud, Gemini, all these are most popular usable ones. So among these, why we are going to use the ChatGPT? So as the same names what we are using, including Cursor AI. Cursor AI is IDE, not technically just the GPT, but also an IDE integration, which we will see in detail later. But let's say we are comparing these options, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, and Cursor AI, and GitHub Copilot. Among this, there is a simple explanation what each tool will do and what each is better at. For example, in terms of speed, ChatGPT, Gemini, and Cursor are much more faster compared to Claude. Doesn't mean that Claude is very slow. No, Claude is also speed, but not as faster compared to the ChatGPT or Gemini or Cursor. In terms of accuracy, at least to my knowledge, all of them are mostly accurate. If you are giving good prompt, it will give you a good response. That's my thumb rule. If something is not giving you a good response, I will always doubt the person who is giving the prompt, because most of the systems will give you the good responses with. But in terms of exact accuracy, with ChatGPT, it's very good for general, specifically for QA related tasks. And for cloud and other, let's say Cursor and all those is for proper development related things. You are wanted to develop a code, you have to do those things. Cloud and Cursor is a very good thing. Does it mean ChatGPT cannot help you with coding? No, it can do. It can also do more than a coding. That's the answer for that. In terms of efficiency, ChatGPT, Gemini are very good and excellent in multi-handling. For example, I can have two windows open, both with ChatGPT. I can ask one window for questions related to test cases. I can ask one window question related to bug reporting. It will properly able to handle all those multitasking things. Cloud also can able to do it, but it's not that great in terms of multitasking. Versus for task versatility, ChatGPT can able to help you understand text, voice, code which you put, images which you put, everything. Same for Claude and Gemini. Cursor AI is specifically an ID. Here I purposefully put that into the table because in our courses at the end we will see how to use the Cursor AI to automatically write the code for you with just one line of prompt, and rest all will be taken care by that. But there it will be only for code generation, not like an image generation or text generation. Nothing will work on that. In terms of limitations, with specific to ChatGPT, we have a limited on certain domain specific data. For example, imagine, let's say I'm doing a research on any domain specific topics, let's say on airspaces or aircrafts. Will it have all the details? Maybe and maybe not. So we don't know if the tool is capable to have the data set into the highest amount of details for every domain specific. The same rule applies for many tools too. Claude also will have only limited versatility, versus Gemini also, it's in terms of creativity. Even it has some data, it cannot able to fetch and give it in a creative fashion. Versus for Cursor AI, it's only limited to code. Now, the most important among all the 6 points, the seventh point is the most important one for us: pricing. ChatGPT has a free version and also a paid version. Now, and the paid ones also is actually affordable. It's not very costly. I personally use that. It's $20 per month, which is 2000, roughly 1800, 2000 INR per month. Versus Cloud also has a free and paid versions, but the paid is a bit costly. Gemini is only paid. You for the initial one or two searches, it will allow you for free, but after that, all the data will purposefully give you shit data. The reason is they want you to buy the paid ones. Versus Cursor AI, again, it has a free tier for 1 week, but after that, you have to pay a monthly for $20 per month. Now, the question is why in this case? Okay, before I say which one tool you will pick. If you're taking up a tool with just only these analysis, which tool you will pick for our workshop? Yes. Everything is GPT, Sonia, by the way. All of them are
I mean,
GPTs only.
you
I would
missed
go for
chat.
Cursor.
Yeah, it's chat GPT. Yeah.
No, giving you an explanation. Yeah. Uh, I
I
heard
would
someone.
go for Cursor.
Sorry?
I would go for Cursor.
Only for coding. For instance, if you're asking it to generate a PDF, it cannot.
Of course, yeah.
So that's the reason I told for workshop we
I
have
think
reputation.
Cursor
No,
has an inbuilt what do you say capability to basically use ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini. If I'm not
correct.
Gemini, maybe other.
Everything it has. Yeah, I agree. But again, the point I'm specifying is you want a text file out from it, it cannot give. You want a PDF out from it, it cannot give. These kinds of things cannot be done. So yeah, whatever you say is yes, but it also has the problems of these. So on a high level for a workshop where we also need to consider that in terms of versatility and speed, accuracy and contextual understanding, cost effective with high value. Doesn't mean that just because I have to pay more, I pay less, but I'm having a high value for that. Because of those reasons, ChatGPT is the best option for this current workshop thing. But Vignesh, I learned, let's say whatever you teach, I learned it, but my company is having only for Claude, which means can I not use these knowledges in Claude? Absolutely not. What I'm teaching here is how to drive a car. I have a Swift with me. Sukanya has a Polo with her. Kishan has a BMW. I teach how to drive a car. The same knowledge can be applied for any car, right? The same rule applies for here too. How to work with the AI is what we are going to learn. It's not specific for only for the GPT, Chat GPT, or Cursor. Similarly, not only for the tool. We are taking Playwright and API only for an example, but the same knowledge can be applied for any other tools also. Does it make sense? Any question? Now, the last topic for the day is now, Vignesh, we decided that we are going to work with ChatGPT. Do I really need to buy a subscription to cope up with the workshop to work with it? That's obviously a fair question. Now, before answering for that, first we'll understand what all things are offered in free version versus what all the things are offered in the paid version. In terms of free ChatGPT, which means when I say free ChatGPT, open a ChatGPT website and log in with your Google or whatever the email is, and whatever you see without you paying anything, that's called a free ChatGPT version. There you will have the limitations in model accessing. When I say model accessing, there are many models which we will show in another 2 minutes. All those models are not accessible by the free versions, which means the latest models, all those are not allowed by the free tiers to use it. Obviously, 1 or 2 times it will allow you to use, but not on a continuous basis. So model restrictions are there. Next is in terms of basic usage. When I say basic usage, for example, let's say exactly at the same time, me and Kishan is trying to ask the chat GPT server a question. Imagine Kishan is with the free version, Vignesh is with the paid version. Who do you think ChatGPT will give importance and usage to? Me or Kishan?
Paid one.
Correct. So the in terms of usage and in terms of the priorities, it will be always the paid ones which will be given coverage. But does it mean Kishan will not get response at all? He will get, but later, not immediately as how a paid ones get. And next one is in terms of use cases, in terms of no access to GPT-4, which means GPT-4 is the current latest model. With 4, we have 4.0, 4.0 mini, 4.0 lite. There are many models. We'll explain all those later. But there is no access for the GPT-4. When you log in for 1 time or 2 times, it will allow, I don't know the exact numbers because I don't use the free one, but there is some limitations, 5 or 10 times the maximum time you can use any of the GPT-4 models. But after that, it will not allow you to continue with the GPT-4 models when you're going with the free ones, and reduce performance during high traffic on a daily basis. Definitely, if you're using the free ones, you will get bit later responses. If I'm getting under 3 seconds, you might get in 6 seconds or 7 seconds. So there will be a reduced in your performance when you're working with the free versions. Similarly, now we will see what are all the things which we'll get when we are using for the paid ChatGPT, which is called ChatGPT Plus. You will have access to all the models, every model available as of today. You will have access to do that. We'll get the priority access, but as the same example as I told you, if I'm doing one API hit, free version guy is using API hit, mine will get prioritized compared to the other ones. Enhanced capabilities, we have so much capabilities available in the paid versions which is not available in the free ones. Increased request limits. When I say increased request limits, and the number which I'm gonna say, it's not the exact number, but just for the discussion, when I'm in the free version, let's say when I'm in the free version, let's say I can ask only 15 questions or 20 questions to ChatGPT on a daily basis. If I try more, it will say no. Versus in paid ones, maybe it will be 1,000 questions a day. So something like that, where there is an increased request limits available in the ChatGPT paid version, which is not there in the free ones. And the last one is access to beta features. Whenever ChatGPT releases a new feature, but it's not in the market yet, where they wanted to try with people to see how the result is coming, these kinds of beta features will be given only to the paid ones, but not to the free ones. Now, there are different versions what we just spoke, free and all those things, in terms of response speed, you said, and all those, where I summarized it as a table. Now the question which we need to ask for is, what is the pricing? As I told you, ChatGPT free is free, and you have access to the free access for 4.0 mini, but with maybe 1 or 2 times, but not more than that. And the ChatGPT plus cost you $20 plus GST per month. Now the main important question is, do you need to purchase immediately the ChatGPT paid version to continue the workshop? No. The answer is really no. The reason is because I'm using it very, very extensively on a daily basis. So that's the reason I have bought the paid one. So I'm doing it. But for learning purpose, for you to get it started, I 100% don't wish you spend that money in buying that one, because once you started using it on a daily basis, then it's a very, very good investment. I trust me, I'm happily paying the $20 every month, because I'm getting is tremendous. So for this workshop specifically, you don't need to buy it. But once you finish the workshop, once you started doing it on a daily basis, then I would suggest to buy either this or Claude, whatever your company has or you're wishing, you can do it. But for the training purpose, you don't need to buy any paid subscription. Whatever I do in mine in a paid ones, the same will work. The last week, what we do, something called custom GPT alone will not work for you. But rest all the things, 95% will work the same way how it works in my mission. Any question, folks? Any question?
So, Vignesh, when it comes to data privacy or security, which GPT should we prefer when it comes to implementing in actual
When
world?
you mean when you mean with GPT, you're referring to different models within the chat GPT, or you're referring to the
No,
difference between
like
Cloud or chat
Claude
GPT?
or Gemini or the
That
Copilot.
that depends on their policy things, bro. I exactly don't know what exactly each offers, but as I told before the break session,
Mhm.
it depends on what you need versus what your company is aligned to. For example, there are certain AIs, I can't remember the name, is it Gemini or something, which always mandatorily will use your data for their model training. So those kinds of things you cannot do it if your company is something like mine, which is a bank or something where data is the most priority for you. Then those cases you cannot use them. Versus in ChatGPT, they have two options: either to give the data, your data, to the ChatGPT for model training, or create your own private instance LLM to do that. So that answer depends on what company you're working for, how critical your data not to get leaked, and in terms of pricing too. So many factors comes into the picture.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. We are almost 10 minutes delayed, I know, but I'll just take 2 more minutes just to show you what the ChatGPT. 100% I believe everyone knows it, but for someone who doesn't even know what ChatGPT or something, we'll just take 2 minutes to show you how it works and all those things. So here I have the ChatGPT open. So here in this case, I'm having the ChatGPT as a browser extension only, but the same thing you can use it by accessing chatgpt.com. So whatever I'm using in the browser, the same thing as I do it on a daily basis. I kept a app version for that, but it works both in the browser and the local too. For example, as I told you here, I have a paid version. So that's the reason here, if I press the drop down, you can see it shows me all the models: 4, O3, O4 mini, O4 mini high, 4.5. This is a specific to research, like many options are coming. But in your case, if you are using a free version, then these options will not come. Maybe one or two will come. Rest all will be with the free 3.5, which is the older model, which it will work to. Now the question is, the task which we are going to do doesn't actually need a latest model or something, because we are going to do the basic things, and for all the free models itself is fine. So how the UI will look is, it's pretty simple. Here you will have the explore bar to show you the previous search result. And here you will have a text box where you can type something. And here, if you have any attachment, you can attach to it. For example, I'll ask a simple question that explain in short on what is Playwright and its use cases for software QA. So imagine I don't know what is Playwright. I want to understand what is Playwright. What usually we will do, or what everyone does, is they will go to the Google, they will search for Playwright, and whatever the result comes, they will click on it, they will read it and ask all those things. Rather, if you know, like that's what we are going to learn in this 4 weeks. If you know how to use the ChatGPT or any AI very critically, you don't need to use Google at all. Trust me, it's been very ages. I went into Google and searched something. Everything I do via ChatGPTs or other AIs only. So now when I hit it, you will see it gives me the exact response how I want it for. So it says, what is a Playwright? It's an open source automation library developed by Microsoft. It has these many things. It's a cross browser, blah, 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 blah. Everything in a proper format. Now, Vignesh, are these things is not available in internet? Yes, it is available in internet, but can it give you in such clean fashion? That's the question. So that's the difference between us searching it or us doing a work, rather asking an AI to do. Before ending the call, I'll give you one more simple example, the same example what I was saying for writing test cases or something. How to do it in a better fashion, we will learn it tomorrow. But for now, I'm going to write a simple prompt, write uh, 10 test cases for login screen. Okay, I'll put one a login screen. Okay. So for a login screen, it will write a 10 test cases for me, starting with the positive cases: valid credentials login, remember me functionality, password field masking. With the negative cases, what happens if I do an invalid credentials? Like this, different combinations. It wrote the test cases less than a second. Now, Vignesh, is it a good prompt? Will it write everything? No, this is a very bad prompt, which we will learn in detail in the upcoming weeks, how to write it in a better fashion. But what am I trying to show here is, just in under 2 seconds, I can able to give a set of cases. If someone is asking me, imagine a manual QA is asking me, Vignesh, can you give me some cases? I want to try testing. I will just write the prompt properly. There is a copy button. I copy this and go and paste in the Google chat or Slack or whatever the thing. So this is how the chat GPT or Gen AI will be helpful in your real time. Any questions before we end the session today?
So Vignesh, ISTQB has a certified AI tester certification, correct? So do you suggest in doing that certification?
It depends. I would say yes and no to that. I'm not a certified AI tester, to be honest, but I'm training you because on a daily working basis. So certification always are needed when you are applying for a promotions or switching jobs. For those things, when you needed to create clear that exams and getting it, it's well and good. I will not say no to that. But to work with on your daily task and those things, I will not suggest it. Having that will not really make you a real time Gen AI user. So it depends on what is your use case.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
It's exactly the same answer as the ISTQB certified. I'm not an ISTQB certified, but I'm in the market for 11 years already. So doesn't mean that we have the certificate, we know the skill, right? So the point I wish always is to know the skill and how to use it in the real time rather than having as a certificate.
Pragnesh,
Cool.
one question, the
Yeah,
basic one.
Sheetal. Yeah,
Yes.
go.
So, for example, if I want to use AI for writing test cases for one of the functionality, so
Okay.
am I prompting it every time whenever I want to generate test cases for another functionality, or are we building any kind of bot which will generate test cases for me?
Correct. So at the last week, if you remember, I told something called custom GPT, right? It's not a bot, but similar to a bot, where uh, to give you a simple example, imagine we are creating a bot one. I'll put the word bot for your reference, but it's not a bot. But this bot one's whole job is for test case creation. That's all. I already will give the preset of rules for the bot saying that, hey, I ask you something, give me the test case, that to give me in a certain order. How Vignesh needs, give me in the certain order. For example, there will be one more bot, which is called bot 2. The whole purpose of this bot 2 is for code review. It will not generate test case for you. It will not do any other thing. The whole reason of this bot is I paste the code written by Sheetal or written by Sukanya. It will review and give me the results. That's all. So I will train this bot in such a fashion. So we will read first the basics of how to use the chat GPT for all the tasks. And at the end, we will learn how to create the bots need for our use cases.
And these bots will work similar for other AI tools as well, is it?
No, when I say bot, it's specifically within the chat GPT. As I say, it's within only the custom GPT. For Claude, it will be a different use case. For Cursor, it is not possible. So what I'm teaching is specific to chat GPT. It's not a standalone bot or something like that. No. Clear?
Got it. Thanks. Yeah.
And also we have GPTs, correct? If you go to explore GPTs, there is QA test case generator, which will generate test cases.
Correct. So all these are a custom GPT written by someone like me and been very generous and made it public. That's all. So whatever we get at anything, any QA related things, you will already have a GPT. But the question is how trustable it is, how they have customized for your project. The question is, yeah, we can use it. I'm not saying no to that. But when I already learned a skill on how to create mine for my project, why will I go and search for something else? We will create our own custom GPTs and we'll put it here. Does it answer your question, Satish?
Yes, yes.
Cool. So I know today we are not having any hands-on or something, but that's how usually the first days would be to understand the basics, and it's very important because from now on, you know, if someone says AI, oh, AI means this. It's not Gen AI. So all these basics we have learned, so we have a good foundation. Starting from tomorrow, we will have our hands dirty. We will write the use ChatGPT on a daily basis, and for each task we encounter, we will see how to ask the ChatGPT the right help to get the right response. Clear? Awesome. Let me stop the recording.